Hello and welcome back to Fate Grand Order. Tonight we're continuing where we left off in Act 2 of Lostbelt 6, Avalon LaFay. Camelot. Last time Morgan requested that we speak with her before we begin ringing the bells, so I guess we might have a chance to negotiate after all. Hear people singing the Child of Prophecy song in the streets. I speak now of future, the end of the Isle of Mystics, which came to be known as Fairyland. Let the innocents return, here stands the Queen's unknowable castle. It falls like rain, like ash, it vanishes like snow, like lies. Our desires languish, deferred, even now we dance in the palm of the Queen's hand. We require now only a little more patience. After 2,000 years, the dawn shall bring a child who will be our salvation. He shall be the child who saves the world, and who binds people together. Even if her light begins as but an ember, even should no one see it, she'll become a flame to draw moths. City of iron, a sea of soot, when the calamity recedes, her pilgrimage begins. Chosen by the staff, the savior guarded by travelers, she shall reach the throne. The true king shall arrive, accept now this bloodied crown. Ring, ring, like raging thunder, like weeping flame. Let us hearken to the 6 bells ringing, blaze the path of the true king. Ere the red calamity reaches us, ere the black calamity devours us. So there's going to be 2 more calamities coming from the sounds of things. Indolent, derelict though we may be, we are scions of free Fae. Never ever wish for anything, but still we desire a shining future. There's no mention of Norwich being destroyed in that song. So why did Oberon say there was nothing anyone could do to stop its destruction? I wonder, does he know more of this song than anyone else usually does? I do, as a matter of fact. The prophecy actually has 18 verses in total. Most fairies are only familiar with the 14 that we just heard, but there are actually 4 more. I knew it. Why didn't you tell us this sooner, Oberon? I just forgot to mention, okay? I'm sorry. Can we please drop it? I'm guessing you had a reason you couldn't tell us. In retrospect, maybe I was being a little overprotective, and I am in fact sorry about that. Alright, I'll tell you. These are the 4 verses of the prophecy, at least as I heard them. 8.5, the harbor shall return to empty shore, where the calamity shall vanish into an distant sky. 9.5, the round fortress shall burn, and the bell of water shall appear. Are we needing to ring the bell of sorrows from Lunatea's Veil? My, what a plot twist. Alright, and verse 10.5, confessed sinners shall make the acquaintance of the guillotine. Oh my, the French Revolution all over again. Having fulfilled her role, the child of prophecy shall say farewell to her home. As you can see, these verses are a lot more ominous than the rest of the song. That and the fact they're not very precise for a prophecy might be why they were excised. Oberon, come on, buddy. Pretty much, this is a prophecy. Virtually everything is not very precise, specifically so that there's a lot of leeway in how they could potentially be refilled. Case in point, verse 8.5, a harbor shall return to empty shore, the calamity shall vanish in the distant sky. The harbor is obviously Norwich, the empty shore part must mean the city was meant to be wiped off the coast. So I was steeling myself to lose Norwich even if we were able to repel the calamity, but well, Norwich didn't fall. It's because now another child of prophecy has appeared. Could be. This basically proves not even Ansel's prophecies are perfect, especially for these 4 verses. So I've decided I'm just not going to worry about them anymore. Now, on a more important note, you guys need to get going soon. Between Castoria, Gareth, Muramasa, Habitraw, I think you should all be safe without me. So I hope you don't mind if I go off on my own again. More information gathering, I take it? Partly yes, but I also really want to give Spriggan his comeuppance. So I thought I'd stay here and work with the Count to knock him down a peg or two, or a dozen. A peg or 2 dozen, until he gets back to the bottom. Ah, yeah, that's right. Spriggan was basically counting. Spriggan most likely also knows the missing prophecy verses, and as such, he figured, okay, if there's nothing can do, then the worst possible thing is surviving, but since even the child prophecy will never succeed, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing anyone can do, so I might as well make sure I profit off it. Kind of like that whole situation with stock market and GameStop. I should probably explain it for anyone who's unfamiliar. Basically, the rich guys involved with it decided to hedge their bets on, well, since due to the rise of digital markets and such, GameStop was pretty much on brand, was pretty much set, expected to drop in value. So they pretty much, basically, they put their money towards all their money towards it falling. So that's basically a surefire bet. But then a bunch of random people decided to put their money into GameStop and investments, and suddenly its investment, its stocks actually went up, which means they were set to lose a lot of money until the stocks came in. The stock markets themselves all pitched in and made sure it didn't happen. Basically nullified all of it. So yeah, nothing really came of it, but it did at least show that, yeah, when the rich have problems, they have no issues showing their hands to prevent it. So much for the free market, eh? Sorry to get political out of nowhere, but to be fair, this is actually a highly political story, so it fits. The worst thing that could happen to him was the city was saved. The worst thing, the GameStop controversy could happen is GameStop ended up going up in profits, which it did. Besides, we could be reunited with MASH much sooner if he hadn't insisted on keeping the Child of Prophecy in his castle. I just think he deserves at least a little comeuppance for that. Alright, make sure you hit him where it really hurts then, his wallet. Just leave it to me. Bloodshed may not be the Fairy King's style, but I can definitely bleed him dry financially. You know what? I think me and Oberon are gonna get along just fine. Before we leave, there's something I do need to let you all know. I guess Oberon's going off on his own again, right? I had a feeling he might. Gotcha. Well, I guess we don't have to stick together all the time. It's not like he's much help in combat. I'm sure Oberon will be fine on his own, but how come Raydra isn't here either? He's staying behind too. Technically, he's still Aurora's retainer after all. And it would be good for her if he was seen with us right now. Yeah, So I'm gonna have him stay here with Oberon and bring the carriage if we need it. See, that makes sense, but you there, Pink Fairy, Habitraw, right? I can do this too. I mean, the way Camelot is pretty dangerous. Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Just think of me as a spectator along for the ride. Yeah, I'm trying to give Habitraw a more elderly woman voice because that's usually the form the Habitraw creature takes, rather than, little girl. I suppose they had their hands tied a bit there. In fact, you should probably be more worried about yourself than me, Gareth. I'm the irreplaceable healer every party needs in combat, and I'm probably stronger than you too. Oh dang, she's one of the MMO healers. She knows she has the power of life and death in her hands and isn't afraid to show it. Don't worry, Master. I'm not gonna let you die before you and Mash are reunited. So feel free to wait in a battle all you like. As long as you don't die, I can patch you up with my magic needle no matter what horrific injuries you sustain. That sounds both very close to and very far from Nightingale's preferred treatment methods. Ah, nice fairy name. So you already know Nurse Cute as me, huh? Alright everyone, here comes the Queen's troops to the main gate. I apologize for our 10-minute delay. I am Gawain, and these 30 members of the 1st Royal Knight Moors Extermination Brigade. We are the ones who will be providing you, honored guests of Camelot, safe passage. Alright, thank you for your help. We would appreciate your cooperation as well. Being aware that you are being escorted can make life much easier for the soldiers escorting you after all. We have ready to carriage for the Child of Prophecy and the Foreign Mage. Your retainers will need to walk. I trust that is all. You're the scoundrel who tried to assassinate the High Queen. How are you still alive? I saw you fall in the pit. Oh, that? Yeah, Lancelot handed my ass and tossed me right in the pit. But unfortunately for you, I managed to survive, and now I'm the Child of Prophecy's bodyguard. Next time you see Lancelot, tell her not to take her eyes off his servant until the spirit origin's completely gone. What should we do, Lady Gawain? Are we really okay letting this man back into Camelot? What if he tries to assassinate the Queen again? That's alright. If he does, he won't have the element of surprise anymore. I can take him on myself. Especially now that the Queen has assured me not to worry if combat damages or destroys the castle. Yeah? Hey, that's great. You barely fit the place anyway. Should help you move around better. Next time we fight, I'd rather just be head-to-head without either of us holding anything back. Because the Child of Prophecy has an eye for talent after all. However, her other retainers suggest otherwise. Very well, you there, make room in the carts for our guests. Servants can ride with the foreign mage. Treating those two as honored guests, at least we reach the castle, it'll help move it all much faster. Yes, my lady, right away. We'll be taking the western road to Camelot and spend one night in Oxford along the way. We'll then take a detour around the pit towards Camelot. For the next 2 days, our fates shall be entwined. We'll not turn our swords on each other regardless of what may happen. Do you agree with that? Sounds good to me. Good, let us be off. Soldiers, do not let your guard down simply because this is an escort mission. The Calamity's destruction has led to Moors talks spreading far and wide across Britain. Eliminate any Moors you come across immediately upon discovery. I don't want to hear even a peep of discomfort from our guests. Well, at least Morgan knows how to uh, deliver us in style. The giant hole. Well, that's a relief. This carriage rides is just as smooth as Ridrabits. By the way, Master, are you sure you're ready for this? To meet the Queen, you mean? I mean, I'm kind of nervous, but it'll be fine since you're used to this sort of thing. Is that it? Well, that must be nice. I couldn't sleep a wink, so I just practiced my staff. And you're what, 20% nerves, 80% relaxed? How come my servant be so much better at this? It's not that. He's just as It's not that. It's just as nervous as you are. He's just had enough experience in situations like this to understand the value of staying calm. That's right. Even way back in Lostbelt 2, where we negotiated with Scotty, she was, well, it was... Our character was much more of a nervous wreck, but we were able to keep things going there. Masters need to give orders and watch out for their servants after all. Masters need to give orders and watch out for the servants after all. So while the master might not be able to fight on the front lines himself, he's very good at keeping cool under pressure. Really? So you met a lot of other kings then? Yep, I sure have. You'd think I'd be used to this sort of thing by now, but, nope, not even close. By the way, I heard something interesting about Tamlin Gawain back in Norwich. Apparently, she was the first fairy to be made a Tamlin during the era of the High Queen. About 200 years ago, during year 1800, there was a huge outbreak of caterpillar moors in central Britain. That calamity later became known as the Caterpillar War, and it was Gawain who put a stop to it. So it might not be like the calamity we got rid of in Norwich, it still resolved the calamity like Castoria. She still resolved a calamity like Castoria did, and that's what led to the Queen recognizing her skill. Surprised, overcome with newfound respect? No, nothing. Gawain would do surprise me or make me respect her. Ah, does Castoria know her true name? And to think that was supposedly lost, to the point Morgan even changed her true name. Actually, the fact that Morgan erased that means there aren't even the blocks. That said, I guess this means Morgan's not the only fairy to have dispelled a calamity. I guess this means I'm less special than I thought. Oh man, now I'm even more nervous. Crap, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you even more nervous. And hey, from what I heard, the Caterpillar War wasn't actually that big of a calamity. I mean, the one in Norwich was a once-in-a-millennium great calamity, so it had to be smaller than that. Don't forget, we saved an entire city. You have the right to be proud about that. Right, they said calamities only come once every 1,000 years. Great calamities are once every 1,000 years. And regular calamities once every 100. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the master and his servant might have done most of the heavy lifting, but I definitely still contributed. When it comes to defeating Moors, I can hold my own there against any Tamlin. More smoke spotted. Incoming 3, 7, 11 o'clock. Lightning soldiers, prepare your mystic codes. Guards, get in formations. Master. I know, you want to show Gawain what you can do, right? Right, I'm gonna see me in a new light? If you're out here, I assume you have no intention of sitting back and letting us do all the fighting. Very well, I would welcome your aid. There's a lot of Moors here, and I prefer to avoid any casualties. Follow me. Child Prophecy, Foreign Mage, and make sure that you stay close to me. Formation restricted. And I'm not allowed to use Castoria. How very frustrating. The 3 servants can be set in this quest. I'm pretty crap, I'm pretty sure it's a Buster servant. Still, a Saber is going to be good here, so let's go with pure sustain. I don't need MP strength. I guess bringing my own Saber wouldn't be a bad option. Now he can use Demonic Sun Princess. And I guess one last Saber in case things go south. Lakshmi Bai sounds like a good one. Even if I lose the supports, Lakshmi Bai is good for a 2 DPS setup, so she'll be fine. She's quick and not arts, but I don't care. This team is entirely dedicated to self-sustain. We're gonna be fine, I think. And I will say these story fights aren't... They're balanced a lot better than, say, the one where you had to fight a bunch of caster enemies as an solo assassin from, what was it called? Oh, Atlantis. Atlantis had a few of those, but I think that one was just really poorly designed in general, because there was another one where you had disadvantage, where you were Super Orion against Canis. However, because Super Orion is so absurdly powerful, well, you were able to deal enough damage that the class disadvantage didn't matter, and that made a genuinely interesting fight. But it wasn't nearly as such for the assassin fight, unfortunately. Alright, let's see here. Oh, what's this? Resistance to all attacks. Ooh, so she won't ever die. Interesting. What's her NP? Galatine. Increase Buster effectiveness, heavy damage all enemies, increase max HP, and reduce skill. Ooh, reduce skill cooldown. Now that looks fun. I believe she also... I hope she's... I don't remember if she's going to be on the banner for Part 3, but I hope she is, because... I think most already know who it is, but to avoid spoilers, the one on there is my next goal. Right, I forgot about that. Damn it. Whatever, they're Zerks, I can handle them with anyone. I see. Alright, now we get to see Fairy Knight Gawain's NP. The Galatine is the sister sword to the Excalibur, so... Overkill and reduced cooldown. Not bad. 14k, wow, that's pretty good. Sadly, I already have way too many Grailed Saber projects, so I can't add yet another, but... knows. Eightfold Blessing, and also put everyone's cooldown skills off. Reduce cooldown. Oh, between her and Tammo, that's a lot of turns of cooldown on skills reduced. Buster Chain.
この剣は法の立証。ひざまずけ。ブラックバックガラティ
Yeah, it says a lot when even the flat damage is dealing more. Might as well get her NP back up a bit. Sheesh, I'm starting to see why Fairy Knight Gawain is such a powerful soloist. Removes enemy buffs while granting them debuffs. Increase of lots of attack buffs. Damage cut. Battery, isn't it? Wars deal bonus damage to fairies, but we don't have any of those. Well, I guess, well, yeah, Tamlin and Gawain is obviously one, and Castoria probably counts as one as well, which means Tammo is the only one here who's not a fey creature. She's technically a yokai, which is a completely different type of creature. Which also explains why she's doing no damage while the others just take really low. Yeah, strength up against Fae, and that's probably the only reason it's able to damage Gawain and Castoria to any degree. Strong. Here we go. This Brave Chain should finish it even if the NP doesn't, although with how strong the NP is, it still might. Oh my. Oh, I didn't even notice there's like 8 remaining. Whatever, I'm pretty much guaranteed there's no possible way I could lose that fight. I've got so much self-sustain, and we have so much defense up. We're reproducing fast. There's still 10 large more. No, still more coming. We can't handle this many. Those of you without iron weaponry, stand back, do not engage. Lure them in one spot so I can burn them at once. We're trying, but these aren't falling for the decoy. It's almost like they're here for something else this time. Something else. Could it be? Here for the child prophecy? Ah. You. They be there really after the child prophecy? You. No need to thank me. We're all fighting the same battle here. Now, what are you gonna do about this? Any seasoned general like you ought to know when it's time to retreat. Come on, there's no possible way those guys could possibly kill my team. More so if they actually let me use my sabers, because Jason and Lakshmi Bai are also not counted as fey creatures. I hate to admit it, but he's right. I could either abandon the carts and have my soldiers retreat, or I could have the guests go on ahead. No, I'm a Tamlin. Retreating from Moors is not an option, but they refuse to cluster in one spot, so they're clearly being wary of my Galatine. They just destroyed the rearmost cart. What do we do, Happy Cat? Oh man, what's good about having a Tamlin around if we're still gonna have to fight ourselves? She sucks at this. Why would you give massive amounts of literally unbridled firepower to someone who's crap at holding back? Oh well, what's done is done. No he's complaining about it now. I may not much like fighting, but walking all the way Cam will be even worse. Come on, Gareth. Take out the little Moors and leave the big ones to Tamlin. Okay, I'll do my best. I've gotten more used to fighting Moors. I have Are you seeing the blue streak of light? It's heading right for us from Camelot. That's the same light we saw. We're limiting all of them. Retreat, keep the carriage and the first cart and abandon the rest. Hurry, lightning soldiers, defend the guests, royal guard, retrieve the luggage from the other carts. I'll keep the Moors occupied until... What are you doing here, Lancelot? I didn't ask for help. I don't think you need my help either, but the High Queen commanded me to come. Hostiles detected. Eliminating. Stand back, Gawain. Taking out individual targets is my area. She certainly has a lot of options. The reason so many are hoping for good roles with Fairy Knight Lancelot is she has both single target and AoE NPs, depending on what what ascension she's in. No other servant in the entire game has that. So she has a lot of versatility, and she's technically the strongest Lancer in the entire game in terms of... Not in terms of raw stats, because Vitra actually does technically have higher, but rather because of her modifiers and overall and such, she technically has the highest damage due to her entire kit. Because Vitra has a little bit of a party support, she sacrifices a bit in exchange. A bit of power in exchange for that support, but Fairy Knight Lancelot is absolutely the focus of the team if you're bringing her along. Around along. Don't know why I tripped over that. Avenger, Fairy Knight Lancelot. Ah, I guess we're about to see her in action. Extra class servants are neat, but you don't technically need them anywhere as much as you do the main 7. Innocent Lake's Light. Regeneration. Recover HP. Innocence. Erendite. So she also has Lancelot's sword. Increase NP gain for yourself, deal significant damage, and gain C stars. Let's see what her kit does here. She's missing her 3rd skill, unfortunately, but the story unfortunately likes to do that a lot. Dragon Heart increases attack. Light incoming damage cut, increase max HP, and increase NP gauge for yourself. Well, I suppose we should start with the toughest one if we're going to drop an NP here. I don't want to increase NP gauge, do I? What's the overcharge effect? Don't really need that. Arts Chain. Guess she doesn't have much to say. Yeah, with you have no buffs, you can only do so much. Although granted, the story version of characters usually has different stats than the player version. Oh wow. Yeah, she doesn't have much to say. She's here to kill. Whatever, we'll just spam the Alondite. Yeah, big difference with buffs versus without. That actually hurts a little. Alright, if you want to eat 2 NPs, who am I to say no? Take that. Oh, she just flew out of there in nowhere and utterly destroyed them. All more has been destroyed. Brilliant work, Lady Lancelot. So this is what they mean when they call you the undefeated Dragon Fairy. Most beautiful Tamlin in all of Britain. I still can't believe you took out so many of those large moors so easily. There, I eliminated the moors, just like the High Queen told me to. I'll let you handle the escort from here, Gawain. It's almost like she sent me here just to try and advertise my banner to the player. And she flies off just as quickly as she arrived. As if you're even capable of handling an escort mission. Don't just stand there, you fools. Start fixing the wrecked cart. If this is the best you lot can do the first day of this mission, I sure think how you'll fare in the days ahead, and you can forget about resting in Oxford. I want to report from each and every one of you later on how the situation could have been prevented. Yes, milady, deepest apologies, Lady Gawain. That I would have thought all of you together would have been able to defeat at least one or two of the large moors. I suppose this goes to show you how overly reliant you've become on us, Temlin. It seems I'll need to start re-educating the fairy soldiers like I'm doing with the humans. Uh, oh, my apologies, I appreciate your help. Sorry, I never did ask your name, I was not authorized to do so, but now that you aid us in a dangerous predicament, that is no excuse. I'm Gawain. And what is your name, Mage? They call me the Master. Well met, Master. I appreciate your obvious hostility towards me. You got spirit, I like that, since we'll be enemies later. Alright, let's get this escort mission back on track. I advise you watch what you say in the carriage. I could easily overhear you depending on which way the wind's blowing. And I thought we were gonna be put up in a nice inn in Oxford. I can't believe we're camping out again. Alright, if we can't have nice accommodations, at least we can have nice food. I'm sorry we don't have enough to share with the royal guards, but I say we have the cakes. I say we have the cakes the count gave us now. Ooh, looks like mine called a cheesecake. And yours, Castoria? Mine says Swiss roll. Oh, it's shaped like a log. This should make it much easier to eat. So thoughtful, the count. Two proper human people are so considerate. Are also not trying to gear it there, but sure, why not? Sweet Yam Yoka, and how the hell did he manage to make this here? Some tea would go real nice with this. Think I'll go to the river and fetch some water. Nom nom nom, what's this called again? Your fun cake? So this is what happiness itself tastes like. I had no idea they had so many kinds of sweets these days. But yeah, it seems even Fairy Britain's developing a bunch of cake recipes. Back in Salisbury, I heard about Woodward's restaurant chain in the south and Edinburgh's gourmet desserts in the north. That sounds like the cheesecake's the one kind that never caught on. I wonder why. Really? But so yummy. It makes me a little thirsty, though. It's because the big shop north despises cheesecake. She always says cheese has no place in dessert, and it's always chocolate or nothing. Though, of course, for fairies from the south like me, chocolate's such a luxury, I don't even know what it tastes like. It costs so many more pounds that low-level fairies can basically never afford it. That's a shame. What is it, Master? I'm gonna make a little peace offering. Do you have a custom of eating sweets after a meal here? I don't usually care for sweets. If I'm going to eat something cooked, I'd rather have meat. So no, I won't accept that. But I can see you have something to discuss. Go on, have a seat. You want to talk to me about Lancelot? But well, very well. Ask me anything you wish. Actually, I wanted to ask a little bit about you. After all, you're going to be on most of these banners too. Might as well, give me what you think. I see you're trying to figure out my true name. Pointless, but I can at least respect your willingness to try anything you can. Come to think of it, I still haven't properly thanked you for earlier today. Come, sit. If you wish to talk, I shall indulge you for a short while. I manifested in Britain about 400 years ago. I was meant to be the next generation, the successor of an upper-class Fang fairy in Norwich. Except I didn't look anything like my predecessor. Even though I'm a Fang clan fairy, I was born resembling Wind One. No, if anything, I looked human, almost. Some suspected I might be a changeling. Others said I was a curse from the battle against the Moors that took place 600 years ago. Maybe I am, maybe not. I don't know the truth, but I don't really care either. I earned the honor of becoming a Tamlin when I ended the Caterpillar War. Up until that point, the title of Tamlin had been sealed away for 1800 years of the High Queen's reign. In case you don't know, the Tamlin title originally belonged to the retainers of Ace, who is said to be Britain's savior of the Fae era. The first Tamlin was... I'm sorry, I don't actually remember their name. Anyways, they met their end in Orkney. After that, the Queen forbid the naming of more Tamlin. My guess is it was Bedivere, simply going by the ones who are already in-game who have been relevant. Be any number, though. But she decided to revoke her own seal to exterminate the endlessly spawning caterpillars. Thus, I was gifted the name of Sir Gawain, which is said to be the knight of a round table of foreign land, and gain the means to strengthen my horn. My Galatine, I believe you call it noble phantasm. While I'm confident it is every bit equal of Sir Gawain's original, I'm just as confident I can't hold a candle to the real one, the one from proper human history. I didn't think she had so much respect for the Knights of the Round Table. Well, never mind, I should be talking about the Round Table. I'm told it's creepy when I do so for some reason. What else can we talk about? Ah, yes, let's talk about the war against the Moors. The war took place about a millennium ago, along with one of the great calamities. During one of the 1000th year of the Queen's high reign of the High Queen, it was time when the Moors had a king and an army, and waged war against the High Queen, 5 of the 6 clans. Apparently, the king was something of an odd duck. He never attacked fairies or killed humans. All he cared about was fire and lightning. He would gleefully destroy anything, and then only for the joy of watching it burn afterward. He reduced cities and forests to cinders, raised the ground before him, and summoned rain clouds just to hear their thunder. Some fairies called him the Storm King, at least until the Queen forbade anyone from speaking that name. The war against the Moors king lasted for decades until finally the clan brought it to an end. Woodwoes, a fairy who'd recently succeeded the previous head, was the one who dealt the final blow. So the great calamity, the king of the Moors who feasted on magical energy, was defeated before the Fang clan. However, it said with his dying breath, he placed a curse upon the Fang clan. Curse? What kind of curse? The fairy eating black dogs. It was only after the king of the Moors vanished that the black dogs began to roam fairy Britain. However, they also eat the Moors, so they're not just harmful. There are even some squads who train black dogs and use them in Moors' hunts. Mine is one of them, in fact. Have you ever heard of the epithet the Black Dog Duchess? It refers to me. Even now that I've become a Tamlin, I'm still called a black dog. I don't blame them, though. After all, I devour everything, including fairies and humans. Yeah, in case anyone was wondering, hey, I felt the Vortag was relevant for this particular game. Oh, now you're scared of me? So I had no idea what you were trying... Information from one feared throughout all Fairy Britain as a monster. Well, worry not, I wouldn't eat you, for I only consume the strong. I'm unusual for a fairy. What I eat makes me stronger. In fact, I can inherit any powers or abilities the fairies I eat may possess, though with limits on capacity and compatibility. And right now, I'm still full on foul weather. The great Earth Clan fairy. I needed his sacrament for the Caterpillar War. It was crucial. But he was holed up in his fortress in Cornwall and refused to come out. So I challenged him to a duel, defeated, and devoured him. Alright, I think that's enough time spent relaxing after dinner. Back to your camp now. Well, thanks for talking to me. I'm used to talking with humans. In fact, my current husband is a human. Oh, really? Well, I say he's my husband, but he's neither a romantic partner nor a future meal. He's just a guest I'm putting up in my mansion while he recuperates. Still, you remind me of him in both your lack of fear and innocent curiosity. Alright, back to your camp now. My soldiers and I will take turns keeping watch. Don't stay up too late. We'll be sitting up early tomorrow morning. Forgive us. No more prayers. Close your eyes. There's not much fun time left. Veil has fallen. Extinguish the light. Day is ending. Farewell. This day too will end forever. Forgive us our sins. It's too late to do anything now, but to make sure everything's cleaned up. It's that song again. That was exactly what I was thinking at the time. Gonna grab a sip of my drink before we continue. Not too dry, but I don't want to risk anything. This game can absolutely be murder on my throat when I have to voice for extended periods. Ah, refreshing. Yeah, I got some proper water tonight. A chest, interesting. That means there's something more than just the usual rewards. 2 days after leaving Norwich, day 30 in Fairy Britain. So that's Fairy Britain's version of Camelot. I've never seen from the other side of the pit before. It's definitely impressive, isn't it? That bar we were seeing from Oxford must have only been the back of the castle. I thought it looked more like a wall than a castle, but here it looks properly royal. I got one urban area around the main gate and another one inside the ramparts. It's got an urban area. I'm guessing that's to separate the general populace from upper crust. Don't let the gate fool you. The side facing the pit is actually the castle's front. Really, so the big fancy gate's actually the back gate. Oh no, that's the main gate. Sorry for confusing you, Gareth. There's no way into the castle from the pit. You have to get through the gate to get inside. What about fairies who can fly? Couldn't they just zip inside? Nah, it ain't that simple. There's a magecraft barrier in front of the castle, the side facing the pit. If you fall in there yourself, you'll see there's a ton of gun ports all along Camelot's walls. And you don't usually put cannons behind a castle, right? So we can be pretty sure that side is facing the pit's front. So Morgan's not worried about an attack from the main gate then. If she's not worried from the main gate, then... Master, Gawain's going at something up north, whatever it is, she's obviously upset. Your friends now, right? Ask what it is. Oh, okay, she's being quite insistent about this, isn't she? What is it, Master? Are you suddenly having second thoughts about it in Camelot? Oh, it's not that? You're wondering what's got me upset. Can't you see for yourself? That's Knockanaria's army up north. Knockanaria? Where? I don't see her anywhere. Alright, you're too short, aren't you? What a shame. Well, no matter, it's not your concern. Are you kidding? Of course it is. Come on, Master. Let me stand on your shoulders. Redbread isn't here, now what you have to do. Oh, there, hang on, before you go to that trouble, how about using one of my handy-dandy gadgets? Here, a spyglass. It'll let you see at least as far as Gawain can. Take a look at the plains, you'll see some really intense glares pointed this way. Click. Oh wow, I can see super far with this, thanks Da Vinci. Try to turn the dial, it's set to 5 kilometers right now, but if you crank it up the fourth, you can set it to 20. There, see them? There's a ton of fairies gathered in those plains. It must be the northern army of that other queen we've been hearing so much about. Knockanaria of the King Clan. That's her army. It's not just Fang and Earth Clan fairies, there's also a ton of soldiers with masks. Those giants are giants there. That's right, Knockanaria's rule bestows power and wealth upon any who swear fealty to her. It's the opposite of Gloucester and Murrian. However, that effect only works when Knockanaria herself is nearby. I see, so if she wants her troops to be effective, she can't be too far from them. Go on, Master, try looking a little further ahead. See the huge carriage? That's one that looks like a small fortress. There's a fairy standing top of it looking down at us from up there. And even though this is your first time seeing her, I think you'll agree there's no mistaking who this Northern Queen is. Let's see. Took me a moment to realize exactly what that was. Please don't demonetize me when this is put on YouTube. YouTube. Yeah, that does definitely seem kind of familiar. It's Maeve. Whoa, that's Maeve, the queen of I fought in America. Maeve, you mean there's a fairy like her in your world too? Wait, why is she staring at you instead of me? Did you do something that upset her? 20 kilometers away or not, I can't believe she brought her troops all the way out here. Isn't it obviously a hostile act towards Queen Morgan? Knockanaria and her forces are still just within her territory. She claims she's only running military exercise in preparation for the Great Calamity. 10 days ago, she was conducting the exercises 40 kilometers away. Now that Sheffield's fallen, she closed the difference and come further south. She must have 20, no, 30,000 troops. That's not just a threat, that's preparation for all-out war. How the hell does she keep them all fed? Oh right, fairies don't need to eat at all. No, we don't. Unlike humans, that's one of Knockanarea's army's defining characteristics. She despises humans and won't even use them in combat against Moors. She envisions a Britain run by and for fairies alone, with her as its sole monarch. That both does and doesn't sound like something Maeve would say. That said, she won't be sending her troops any further. There's no definitive reason to challenge the High Queen, nor much of a chance of success if Ryosha were to try. The Northern Fairy has been cited to rebelling against the High Queen several times before. Each time they find themselves retreating north with the tails tucked firmly between their legs. This will be no different. Alright, let's enough idle chatter, let's go. We're about to pass through the main gate. From now on, I suggest you remain sharper than ever. If she doesn't even like humans, that's probably why she's bothered by us, because she knows we're possibly one of the only ways that can defeat Morgan. This is Camelot's castle town. It's even bigger than Salisbury, fancier than Gloucester. You can tell only upper class fairies live here. The mon in the air is like nowhere else in all of Britain. That castle. Keep over there must be where they keep the existence taxes, the magical energy they extract from every fairy through command spells. I've heard stories about it, but this is way beyond what I was expecting. No wonder they're not worried about Nakanaria's army out here. It has to be way beneath their notice. Try and take on Morgan now, someone would have to be crazy to do it. I guess Bolgar must have never set foot here before. If he had, he'd never even thought to rebel. Then again, maybe he knew what he's up against and decided to press on anyway. Thought I saw some writing on the gate when we went through it. Did anyone see that or catch what it said? I did. It said only those free of sin may pass, in Old English. I also know it had been painted over with red, like someone didn't agree. Well, suffice to say, humans from proper human history are definitely not without sin, and I don't remember if servants carry that from them. Technically, they're just clones, copies of the original in a hard light body, so they could theoretically be considered separate, but I guess it depends. This is as far as we go by carriage. The royal castle lies just ahead. One of the child of prophecy and foreign mage have been granted the audience of the High Queen. The rest of you must stay here, where will be treated as attendants of our honored guests. Meaning what exactly? You see that royal hotel across the way? We've arranged for you to relax here while you wait. I'll make arrangements for you to reconvene once the meeting's concluded. Your name is Da Vinci, yes? You seem intelligent, like an intelligent servant. As a human, the foreign mage will surely need an advisor. You may accompany him in that role. Oh, good. I was planning on tagging along regardless, but that makes things much easier. You may be on opposing sides, but I appreciate your consideration, Gawain. Alright. All of you heard the lady. You guys stay here and wait for us. Don't worry, you've seen how well ordered the Queen's army is over these last 2 days. Morgan's obviously more stickler for rules than we thought. Three of us won't be in any danger even if we face her alone. We'll be safe for at least as long as we're in Camelot, regardless of how the meeting goes. I'm not surprised. I did break in the castle my first time here. I didn't expect them to just straight up invite me in. Alright, good up in there, Castoria. Don't get carried away, Don't get so carried away you end up saying something you regret, alright? You too, Master. Watch your partner's back, understand? Can't say I'm not worried, but strangely I agree it feels like you'll be safe. Alright, we'll be waiting for you. Good luck. I'm fine with this arrangement too. I'm not too interested in Morgan anyway. I'm just here to keep an eye on things until the Master and Mash are reunited. Alright, let's do this thing. We are Camelot. It says those who may pass. That must mean it's leaning back into the very title. I would explain it, but I have the feeling the game itself is going to do so. So I won't until later, I guess. Although they didn't explain Tamlin. They just said it was a title there. Well, basically, The Legend of Tamlin is a story about a mortal that was raised by fairies until one day he found his true love. However, or like while he is not Fae himself, he was granted all powers and such, so he was bound by their rules. In order to free him, he would have to have his lover on a certain night, sometimes it's Halloween, sometimes something else, grab him and hold on to him. The fairy queen would then try to change him into different forms, but because it's still him, he will simply not attack no matter what kind of monster he gets turned into. So as long as she held on, he will be freed from the queen's grasp and be able to leave. That is a very abridged version of the story, and in fact is that legend which I myself have had my fae self is based. But I don't want to go into too many details. Because for now, can't believe it took us almost an hour to get up the stairs. The throne room. Kneel, peasant. Kneel, present, worship, submit. Emissaries of the throne, cease your breathing. 30 ambassadors, 100 officials, close your mouths. You are in the presence of High Queen Morgan, the king who expands boundaries and upon whose shoulders all of Britain rests. Revel in her glory. Know this, child of prophecy, know this, foreign mage. This meeting is a sign of the High Queen's grace and amnesty. Thank you. It is so good of you all to come, even without a formal invitation. My ambassadors and officials are now commanded to be silent until the meeting ends or I order otherwise. The only people permitted to speak are myself, my guests, and me, Bilgut, the Queen's hubby. Sorry, fancy fairies. Ah, so he really is here in Camelot. You say he's Morgan's husband. Hey there, buddy. I haven't seen you all since Olympus. Oh, why look of surprise. Hey now, don't tell me Mash didn't tell you I'm Morgan's beau. If you're here, then does this mean Queen Morgan's... Right, as master yourself. Of course that's where your mind goes, right? Yep, it's true, I am Morgan's master. Partner of the High Queen who rules over the Highland of the Fae. That doesn't make any sense, though. Sure it does, and it's true. I mean, yeah, she's so far out of my far out of my league, I have a hard time believing it myself, but facts are facts. Castoria, give her permission to approach. Raise your head. I see, it appears you are truly the child of prophecy, and you must be the foreign mage, the master of Chaldea, seeking so desperately to restore what you call proper human history. Yes, that is correct. I see no reason to lie or anything. Your efforts in Norwich, though commendable, were unnecessary. Still, you did well eliminating that calamity. I'll therefore reward you accordingly. Typically, I would compensate you in the currency of my realm. However, I understand that the source of your magical energy is spatial magic energy. You refer to as QP, which are derived from viewing magical particles, correct? Trust 100 million of these price. Take them. That much? And wait, that means you have a QP mint here? Of course not. I simply will simply create them myself using my own magecraft system methods. Ow. I have nothing more to say. If there's nothing else you wish to discuss, our business is concluded. Now, if either wish to ask questions, now the time, but be careful. Though you are my guests, careless words may cost you that status and the protection it affords. Castoria is withering under her gaze. Not that I can blame her. Looks like it's up to me to speak first. Will you speak up first, one? Very well. You are indeed brave. Tell me, Conqueror of 5 Lostbelts, what is it that you want? Chaldea's goal is to resolve the bleached earth phenomenon. Ah yes, I'm familiar of the situation in the outside world. Beryl Gut has informed me. There's been another anomaly detected in this Lostbelt we wish to resolve first. Sort of anomaly. Using an ability similar to Ansel's ability to prophecy, we've observed a future depicting a cataclysmic collapse. We don't yet know what caused this or how it will actually happen, but if it doesn't stop, it'll spread all of Britain and then eventually destroy the planet. That's why Chaldea came to Fairy Britain. We need to investigate this collapse and prevent it from ever happening. Now that the Tree of Emptiness is gone, we have no quarrel with this Lostbelt. Our goal is simply to stop the world's collapse, and that is all. See, so you've come here not to conquer, but to save it. Is that all? We also want a divine construct we can use against the foreign god. That's right, we're hoping to acquire the Sacred Lance Ringo Miniad, an incredibly powerful spell that you cast over at Olympus. We'd like us to provide with either a mystic code that can let us use the spell ourselves, or the magecraft theory we can use to recreate it. Olympus, foreign god, what wait? Oh, sorry, I was talking about. How can they be so reckless, make a demand? Yes, I know the weapon you seek. I also believe you when you come to say you've come to save Britain. And so I will say this to you, you and your popular human history will come to a miserable end. So she's causing it, isn't she? This collapse you have observed will be the result of me expanding my territory. I shall be the one to put a true and final end to your history. I would never willingly surrender my divine construct to you, my mortal enemy. Arrogant child. To save your world, you will have to defeat me. What you call proper human history cannot be saved otherwise. Is that your way of declaring war on us, Queen? Proper human history and my realm can never coexist. If you wish to save your world, you must win it over from me. I thought she might be willing to listen, but now we have to fight after all? That goes for you, Castoria, cursed child of Ansel's prophecy. The year's end will bring a great calamity. It shall once again destroy every fairy in Britain. Ah, so this isn't the great calamity. Fairies do not learn, ever. No matter how many times they die, they will always be born anew. As long as my castle remains intact, Fairy Britain shall always be reborn. Ever, even should Britain all burn. Master, you're saying you'll only protect your kingdom and not your citizens? Yes, I offer the fairies no salvation. I shall defend my land and nothing more. With all the magical energy I have stored in this throne, I have nothing to fear from the great calamity. Furthermore, only a chosen fairy can sit on this throne. You're neither like the other fairies nor that foreign mage. You have been chosen. You're neither a rebel nor invader. You're the Staff of Selection's chosen wielder. By accepting my invitation, you've proven yourself to be the true child of prophecy. You and you alone have the right to bring me to justice, fairies sent from paradise. Even should you fill the oceans with the blood you shed in battle, you would be innocent of sin. If you wish to save Britain, you must defeat me and claim the throne for yourself. Go then, fulfill the absurd prophecy if you can. You know better than anyone, you have no choice. Then it would seem our discussion's concluded. I'm pleased to know we now understand each other. I know, right? What a nice, peaceful resolution. Whoever goes home buddy-buddy with no bloodshed. So, on that note, you guys were stupid enough to come here with no more than faith in people's innate goodness and honor. Now your negotiations completely broken down. Didn't think you could leave her without a fight, right? Of course not. Master Castoria, get behind me. I thought this might happen. Be silent. Unintelligible screaming. Even now, these are my honored guests. Will not permit as much as a hair on their heads to come to harm, nor will allow an insult to their pride until they have left Camelot. Translation, you gotta be shitting me. Forgive my husband's insolence, child. Daughter of Tintagel, as long as you remain Castoria, I shall not recognize you as my enemy. As long as the bells of pilgrimage remain unrung, my lords are forbidden from attacking any of you. However, if she does start ringing the bells and officially declares herself the child of prophecy, then and only then shall I name her, along with Chaldea, my enemies and my marshal to army against you. Therefore I advise you think carefully before winning a war you cannot possibly win. Now stand down, there's nothing left to say. Or is there? Where did you take Mash with that teleport of yours? That's the name of our companion, the one you swallowed up with a spell you usually use to get rid of your calamities. She's a demi-servant with the spirit origin of Galahad, the Shield Knight. Since you named her Tamlin after the other Knights of the Round Table, I imagine you must know that name as well. I see, that explains it. Yes, I hold your knight captive. Alright, where is she? I see no reason I should tell you. She is my trophy. But I can assure you she's alive and well. No one can harm her, not even me. She must be in suspended animation or something, or a pocket dimension then. Because if not even Morgan is capable of harming her, she must be outside the usual place. Well, at least we have a small lead on MASH now, but yeah, it wasn't much of a discussion, was it? She basically just told us we're enemies and threatened to show us no mercy if we defy her. Yep, can't say it was a very productive talk. We now know that Morgan definitely sees proper human history as her enemy, and we know that MASH is safe, being kept in captivity somewhere. That's just confirmation of some things we already at the very least suspected. I didn't say anything to give us any kind of clue as to how we could possibly beat her in a fight. We didn't learn anything about the Divine Construct either. Actually, we did make a bit of progress there. Remember the atrium in the throne room, the one overlooking the pit? Well, I noticed a distinct magical energy pattern nearby, very similar to the Lion King's in the sixth singularity. That confirms to me that Morgan has Ringo Miniad on hand as a weaponized form, and not just one or two of them either. She must have at least 10 placed around the Camelot's main gate. And with that many of them, she must have already used them here several times before. So we can assume the one she threw at Olympus must have been just one of several she had at ready. It would have been great if she'd be willing to just sell us one of them, but it's pretty clear that's not an option. So now the only way for us to complete our initial objective for ourselves is to defeat Morgan. Well, we definitely have our work cut out for us, don't we? Still, at least we made it out of there safe and sound, so we also know that she's true to her word. True, both Morgan himself and all of Camelot might be so stuffed with magical energy it's downright chilling. But she was also adamant about upholding the laws she set as queen. She didn't even listen to Beryl when he tried to break them. I know, Master. That only makes it all the more mysterious. Beryl said he was Morgan's master, and if that's true, that would make her a servant. But that can't be true, because she's been ruling Britain for the last 200 years. Beryl could not have come to this Lostbelt any sooner than the end of 2019, just like all the other cryptors. Obviously, Morgan would have already been queen here, so she can't possibly have been summoned as a servant. The question is he lying, or is he being made to believe that? Either way, we need a lot more information before we can draw any conclusions. Why, they're back! Guys, get over here! Welcome back, you two! How'd the audience go? What's she really like? Was she terrifying, strong, really 10 meters tall? Man, anyone could make take in Tristan as a daughter must eat nothing but other affairs, right? She definitely seemed like a queen. Cut that out, Gareth. Can't you see the child prophecy's doing her best not to spoil your fun? Truth is, the queen's completely ordinary, right? Is that what you're gonna say? Huh? I can tell I'm an expert at reading fair maidens' minds. Don't worry, it's okay to be yourself. I still don't know much about how maidens think, but being yourself is good advice, yes. Deep down, you're stubborn as a shrew with a fierce competitive streak, right? If anything, you're probably thinking something like, that queen, I could take her any day of the week. Give me 1,000 years, I'll probably be way stronger than her. I wasn't thinking any of the sort. And couldn't you at least make it 100 years? Guess we won't be getting a cushy carriage escort back, especially if they basically kicked us out of town. I wasn't expecting it back to be easy, but now that it's time to go, it's looking harder than ever. They'd given us at least one carriage we could have mounted a comfortable ride back to. Oh, hello, fancy running into all of you here. I was taking out a new carriage for a test drive and happened to find myself in Camelot. Seems like fate to me. Go on, get in, don't be shy. Over on you, sly dog. Yep, I figured to be finishing up around now. I take your audience is all done, I'd love to hear about it, but first, we should probably get going before our presence here gives the Queen's Army any ideas. Hello everyone, I'm glad to see you haven't been tempted by any other carriages. Say hello to a new improved carriage. It's now got 6 passenger seat and 2 sleeping berths. This bad boy, I can promise you a more comfortable journey around Britain than ever before. You'll see, they don't call me Ridge or homestretch bit for nothing. Great to hear about the carriage. Why are you glammed up for it too? Once I told the Fairs of Norwich I was one of the Child Prophecy's attendants, they were absolutely delighted to pamper me. The Earthclan fairies whipped up this armor for me during the celebration, Snort. Also, they really wanted to use the later Ascension armor outfit. Does it look nice? I see, that's nice. I just hope you're ready to pay for it yourself. Oh wow, she really is giving us the 100 million she promised. Yeah, I should be fine, actually. I'm not the kind of person who has unlimited funds, but at the same time, since I'm on a free-to-play budget, it's very difficult for me to just run out of QP. It's just extremely unlikely. Then again, I don't think the QP mechanic is very well handled. You're either basically living paycheck to paycheck, so to speak, or you have so many it might as well not exist, and that's not very fun to work with, honestly. That's how our audience with Morgan ended. Well, she certainly didn't mince words, did she? She's eager for this fight. I was hoping there might be some way to broker peace, but if Chaldea and the Child Prophecy met with her together, but she obviously never had any intention of giving up her throne, the true king. And that's not all. She doesn't even plan on saving Britain. She said she's going to expand her territory and destroy the outside world, right? I was already pretty sure of her plan, but I didn't know how she was planning to pull it off. But after hearing your meeting, I think I got it. She's going to use the Great Calamity herself. How so? Remember the water mirror spell she used at Norwich? That's what she used to get rid of calamities before. Isn't that right, Habitrot? Yep, she doesn't usually break it out at that massive a scale, but the teleportation is one of her go-tos. So even if these two hadn't gone to such ordinary lengths, she still would have made the calamity disappear. Or rather, she would have made it her own. I think Morgan's been trying to acquire the calamities for herself. And if she is, that must mean she's able to harness their magical energy and use it as her own. That magical energy is what she's going to use to overwrite proper human history and make it her territory. She's going to take the curse meant to destroy the world of fairies and use it to destroy the world of humans. That was her plan. She's not out to stop the Great Calamity. She wants it to happen. So instead of getting rid of the Great Calamity, she's going to use it as a weapon. And the worst part is the implication seems to be that it's not going to work. I mean, without the Tree of Emptiness, whatever's keeping Britain is only going to last for so long. And with that in mind, Even once she just tries to destroy the world and override it, her world's going to end, and then there's not going to be any world whatsoever. Everyone loses. She uses a weapon, even though she's had more than enough power to banish it like she did Norwich. That would mean only the fairies inside Camelot will survive. Now that you mention it, those upper-class fairies in Camelot do look down on the other cities. I even hear them say the only fairy is worth anything from Camelot with a straight face. They've now completely brought the old privileged class and queen nonsense the queen's fed them. I'm sure they just think of the child prophecy as an irritant. I know the queen said she wouldn't consider us our enemy until we rings the bell of pilgrimage, but she's also married to Beryl, right? It's a good thing Oberon showed up with a carriage, because there's no telling when he might have sent troops after us. You said it. First things first, we need to put some distance between us and Camelot. We can figure out our next course of action after that. Nothing else, we know exactly what we have to do now. If we're gonna save Britain, our world, and MASH, we're gonna have to defeat Morgan. Several hours after the meeting at the empty throne room. Still no sign of movement from the pit. That is concerning. That aside, the Great Calamity comes every 1,000 years. The sheer idiocy of these fairies never ceases to amaze me. At least it's useful. I'll use whatever I must to erase proper human history forever. You again. You know that merely observing will resolve nothing. You're truly the foreign god's priestess. You should at least try to kill me. Though, of course, that assassination attempt by the disciple of the foreign god did not go so well for him. No servant comprised of a heroic spirit from proper human history can hope to match my Tam Lin. If you will do nothing but stand there and watch, then do not show yourself. I'm looking at you. I tire of looking at you. Something you wish to say to me, then speak as he did. Sorry to interrupt your chat. I would have knocked. There's no door here. Of course not. Why would I welcome guests merely because they come knocking? I do have a waiting room, had you care to use it. I mean the ghost ward down below. It's majestic and unnecessary, but unnecessary. I don't have time to wait. I'm neither omnipotent nor a talented mage like yourself. I'm just an ordinary man, capable of nothing but ordinary work. This mysterious Chaldean has showed up in most, if not all, of the Lostbelt so far, but... We only finally got to see his face before, but it can't be. We specifically... It's not possible. Truthfully, I should be avoiding places like this where I have no business in the first place. Your actions defy comprehension. You're clearly from Chaldea, you're on the side of proper human history. While the foreign god means to wipe slate the human history clean, I could end up destroying it before she even gets a chance. Is that not why you're here, to stop me? No, if you can really destroy it, then go ahead. Wait. What? True, if I let you your own devices, I'm sure you'll indeed destroy the planet and erase humanity. And that is preferable to the foreign god achieving her goal. Your goal is to wipe out proper human history so you can expand the land of the Fae and rule as queen. I can't approve of your goal or your approach to pursuing it, but I respect what you've accomplished. So I'll neither try to interfere with their plan or lend Chaldea my aid. If you succeed in rendering the planet a lifeless husk, I certainly have no objection. You're not here to interfere. Why have you come? Time to no time to waste, do you not? I came to see what you created here. It deserves at least that much. You saw the Tree of Emptiness for what it really was. Instead of fearing it, you used it yourself. You grasped Chaldea's summoning system instantly and made it your own. Those are truly exceptional accomplishments. There are scant few who've even approached your level of godlike genius. Now, do you understand? I came here to praise you. I cannot imagine there's anyone else willing or able to give you the accolades you deserve. Your estimation of a magecraft skill means nothing. If anything, it sounds snide. Now, if that's all you have to say, then leave. This world will soon be mine. There's no place in it for a foreign god or a beast. I know, this is the last chance to intervene anyway. Even if I did get in your way now, it wouldn't change anything. My aim were to stop what's happening now. I've come 2,000 years too late. Your history is perfect, your script complete. While you did make a mistake with Tristan, your victory is close at hand. That still gives an interesting idea. Have prophecies ever been wrong before this point? Because as it was mentioned in earlier, there's not a single person who thinks the legend isn't real, it's just to what degree. Just to what degree it'll actually help. As one stood from this very position, I want to applaud you in this very position, applaud you in the path you've taken. And she said foreign god or a beast. The initial thought was that she's referring to Koyanskaya. But could this be Gotia or Goisha, however you pronounce his name, because I swear it's different every time I see it. By my estimation, neither the Child Prophecy nor the Master of Chaldea have any hope of defeating you. Though, of course, we're a third player that's yet to show themselves to intervene, that could change things considerably. So yeah, there is someone who's yet to show their hand. Unfortunately, by the rules of only someone could be referring to himself, I suppose. Or he could be referring to someone we already know. Londinium. Sure, we'll stick with Vitra. I probably should use Scotty for this, but whatever. Oh yeah, I was doing the memorial quest, and during the 12 Lamu fight, I somehow managed to get Vitra to use her MP 9 times in a row. That was incredible. Don't get me wrong, I get Castoria makes anything with a pulse and an arts card loop, but usually those run out of steam after the first few times. I didn't expect Vitra to last that long. I guess that's just a testament to proper battery usage, and, well, Vitra was designed to be a looper from the start. Of course she's gonna be good at it, right? Still fun to actually watch it happen, though. So, now they put some distance between us and Camelot to avoid possible trouble for soldiers who just didn't know about the Queen's orders not to harm us. Move along the northern border. Come across a chocolate field that's truly a sight to behold! Whoa, there's chocolate going straight out of the ground! Candy! No way, how the hell does this work? I have to take a closer look. Oh, not the cocoa beans, it's chocolate itself. What are you two doing? The field doesn't belong to you. You should be ashamed of yourselves trampling someone else's field with the dirty shoes. You're going around testing this stuff, you should do something from the edges. Whoa, whole field of deluxe premium chocolate bar Lady Aurora once gave me a tiny piece of. This can't compare to a cake. It as well be the sweetest thing I've ever tasted. Cannonball. No, don't you start too, you idiot. It's so sweet, it's a little messy, it was so yummy. I'm glad to see you all enjoying yourselves. I'm gonna be so relaxed about this, Oberon. We still need to keep an eye out for signs of What is it, Gareth? Are you jumping in there with them? Gosh. Everyone please settle down, you can't eat that chocolate. Oh no, I knew it. These are not Canaria's chocolate fields. I heard about them. They made with a paralysis agent, charm calories out the woozy. Any fairy who tastes them becomes a hopeless chocoholic. And they have to do whatever Nakanari says the rest of their lives, according to Gareth's own research. No idea what Gareth's talking about. Chocolate field moors. Crap. Casually wipes his mouth. Those moors just pop out of the field. Must have been lying in wait to ensnare any fairies who succumb to the chocolate paralysis. First it's, then the moors eat the fairies. A perfectly devious predatory tactic. I'm afraid none of the others will be of any help. Now their veins are full of chocolate poison. Cumbermas, it's all up to us. Got it. Good luck, Gareth. Why don't you just take a step back? What is that holding behind you? Sorry, I was right there in arm's reach. I couldn't help. Some elder you turned out to be. Chocolate bar. Poisonous chocolate?
いいだろ
負けなもちろん
う。故障
Here we go.
があれってな。
Oops.
そこ
Vitra's not a fey creature, she's a demonic beast.
やります豊足
Oh, not bad overkill. Yeah, you can kind of see, with this, you can kind of see the team I was going for. This is similar to the one, though I believe I used a different team, from a different, I didn't use a Rash for that, but I did use Vitra in this pair. There we are. Yeah, Vitra should have no issue with this. Granted, I'm not sure if she's gonna get enough refund. There's only 2 of them, so I don't know if she's gonna get enough refund. Yeah, not enough refund. Well, if this is just a single Moors, then we're fine. Big Thunder Monster. Alright, Vitra has her own battery, how could I forget? Use the Mystic Code here, and Vitra, take out the Big Thunder Monster. Dang, that almost took all out. Full refund though, so... Arts chains. Let's go.
あれはいつか見た終わりの星。どれほど遠く汚れても、私は星を探すのです。さあ、幕を開けて。アラウンドカリバーン
I don't need to use the NP to finish it off, but I want to.
前の肉なる魔の軍勢よ。アスラチュレーシター。お疲れですか？では、遊戯といたしましょう。
Does this mean none of you are paralyzed? Sorry, Gareth, but we're totally fine. I don't think this chocolate's poison at all. That's right. Incidentally, when people refer to chocoholics, they're talking about people who just really love chocolate, who would go all the way north just to have some. Pretty sure it's not actually a medical condition. Wow, you're right. This shit's really good. Doesn't even make me thirsty. I feel much more alert now, too. It's a rare luxury good, and these fields really do belong to Nakan area. So if we keep sampling without permission, we'll see for yourselves. Aw, crap, there's a huge army. Hang on, what the hell are they wearing? Wee-woo, wee-woo, wee-woo. Gotta surround these numbers. It's a honeybee-like magical under pressure. Far enough, you shameless tourists. Got a lot of nerve eating from my chocolate, or is this your way of slaves down to my great successor? I'd recognize that voice anywhere. That's right. Throw yourselves at your feet and beg for my feet and beg forgiveness. I don't care what backwater town you come from. One look at this beauty should tell you all you need to know about who you're dealing with. Now on that note, I, Queen Knock area, pass judgment on these foul chocolate thieves. That's 1 count of stealing government property, 1 count of smuggling valuable cultural property, 1 of dying dashing. For these 4 crimes, since you spend the next 100 years packaging chocolate for retail, after which you'll live out their days in Edinburgh, also even pension to match the contributions of your labor. I knew it. Whoa, you rock, Mabe. Right, she loves to hear that. What? First met her in Gloucester about 5 years ago. She was like a storm in a bottle, and she was the first fairy I got to know outside my village. Not that's any surprise. Before a born ruler, there's nothing better than kicking around your would-be rivals the ground. First President pageant in 100 years, I'm the clear winner. Now go out there and tell everyone that in Britain that Knocken area is the new queen of the Northern Fairies. Man, I didn't even make it past the preliminaries, let alone get a chance to go on stage. Oh, she doesn't have her hat on. That's okay, I'm only here because everyone in the village insists I come anyways. Plus, I can't think of anything more idiotic than a princess pageant. I wanted to see what things were like outside the village for once. Ah, I feel like an idiot. What am I even doing here? I should be back home helping with the harvest. But no, I just had to come here with my political campaign, show everyone that Mab's successor means business. I swear, when are the elders going to stop treating me like a greenhorn anyway? Not to mention the judge's criteria for beauty is quite laughable. Don't they know real beauty comes from living a life you can be proud of, not what other people think of your looks? Contestants like us are the ones who decide what's beautiful, not the peanut gallery. Oh, hello, are you the girl from Tinted Jealous on the prelims? Ah. And now they give the wrong fairy. I'm here waiting tables part-time. Why'd you come to the main event? I thought it was going to come down to you and me. Oh, I've enjoyed being a worthy opponent in the demolishing competition. You're nowhere to be seen. Why'd you leave early? Because the whole thing was so stupid? Well, I did feel pretty stupid. Don't you think I don't get what's going on here? I just like look at a simple little girl jumping for joy of a stupid trophy. She has no idea I lost the battle but won the war. Well, I don't like it. I won't stand for it. You and I are going to compete again right now. What's your best subject? Horseback riding, dancing, combat, chess, whatever it is, I'm going to be real final battle. We're not going to stop until we're good and satisfied. Oh, but we need to do something about that horribly tacky outfit first. Mac Dim, tear this girl's clothes up for me, will you? I'll let you wear one of my dresses. After that, we're going back on stage. Together, you're not going to show these idiots in the crowd what it really means. Wait, what are you... Hey, knock it off, you pink-haired honey brain. No, rich girl, before I knock your block off. Sorry, I had no idea you actually been eliminated in the preliminaries. I mean, my instincts were never wrong before. The moment I saw you, I felt sparks up my spine. Sparks! I thought there was something different about this fairy. I just got the impression you could turn the world on its head. Really? That's how it actually seemed to you, Area? I guess it's true what they say about great talents blooming late. Believe it or not, I'm actually the child... I was wrong. You're so unimpressive. I must have looped back to zero... From zero back to hero. Is that so? Guess you better quit bragging on your instincts from now on then, huh? You're right. From now on, I'll make sure to observe fairies carefully and not rely on intuition. Anyway, what's your village like? You said it's on the western tip of southern Britain. My city's up on the northern tip. I can't imagine how different it must be. You get ash rain there that causes the forest. Can you fish there? Are there any other cute fairies you got your eye on? Ooh, and what was exploding lamp you threw at me earlier? Exploding lamp. The northern fairy kept peppering me with questions. She seemed so genuinely interested. It's one of my nicer memories from back when we still didn't know each other well. Her name was Nakanaria. She's not the child of prophecy. She and I are destined to butt heads one day, but she's also my very first friend. So yeah, I spent 2, maybe 3 days in Gloucester with her a few days ago. As you can see, she never listens to anything anyone has to say, so she didn't make a great impression. That goes for you too, Castoria. You look meek enough, but you always talk way tougher than you look. Good to see you haven't changed. Well, this is a surprise. I had no idea Castoria had a friend she was on arguing terms with. And not Canary of all fairies, I can't even imagine her getting into a scuffle with her, can you? Definitely not. I'm all tongue-tied just from seeing her. Not Canaria, member of the King Clan, Queen of the North. Magical energy covers the entire camp even as we speak. She's one of the most noble fairies in all Britain. Her combat abilities may not compare to the Tamlin, but when it comes to otherworldly common sense and sheer size, I don't think there's any fairy who can match her. Guess I just can't tell since I'm not a fairy myself. But look, Castoria's not backing down. No matter how snide Nakanera gets with her, she gets twice as good as she gets. Yep, those two are a perfect match for each other. And by that I mean these two deserve each other. Castoria looks meek but is a huge pain in the neck, and Nakanaria makes a loud first impression, but she's actually very earnest. They're like two halves of a puzzle box. They may constantly be at odds, but in the end, they fit together perfectly. Quiet, you. When did I say you could talk? And you do know you're still under arrest for chocolate larceny, right? Don't worry, I'm gonna pay you back. I'm feeling pretty flush right now, so... Hey, Castoria, come here a second. What is it? You're not one for secrets. Do you want me to keep quiet about the mischief got into a Gladcaster or something? Of course not. Sorry, that didn't get to any mischief. No, I want to talk about that guy who just talked back to me. Is he human? Your attendant? Your dream finally come true? He's my ally. He's a mage who came here from the outside world. We're pretending he's my attendant to make things easier, but if anything, he's the one who's been helping me out. See, so he's basically just a bodyguard, huh? What's his name? I can tell he's not wearing a collar or anything. Are you really... Please, are you really not Canaria? Can you eat something you shouldn't have? Too much chocolate? Come on, don't let her get to you now. Oh no, I've just been feeling kind of gentler. What's his name? Have you known him? How long have you known him? He's the master. I've known him for about 20 days now. I see. He's just still more than friends, less than lovers. Not that it would matter if you're dating, of course. What? I digress. That aside. We're quite the motley crew, aren't we? Some child of prophecy, you turned out to be a Castoria. What even is this ragtag band? Are you like trying it all? Can't believe you still don't have a single squad to your name. I guess you're still the one fairy my intuition doesn't work on. Or the child of prophecy was named Castoria. I thought you'd finally gotten your act together. Looks like I was wrong again. You're as pathetic now as you were back then. Guess a bunch of third-rate losers or the best of low-class fairy like yourself contract. Take that back, Area. Don't make fun of my friends. They're all much more accomplished, wiser, braver, and grandpa-ish than I am. If nothing else, they'll be stronger than the soldiers you have waiting on you. Is that so? Alright, prove it. Let's see who is stronger. Your allies are my soldiers. If you guys win, I'll pardon you and you'll be free to go. But if my soldiers win, I'm taking the master for myself. Are you serious? Don't tell me he's your type. Oh, it's not like that. I'm just going to need a mage for my war with Morgan anyway. Let's talk more fighting. Let's see which one of us is better suited to be Britain's savior. Wow, only one from my party. And let me guess, it won't let me use Castoria? Oh no, it does. Unfortunately, alter egos deal reduced damage to knight class servants. So the lancers here are going to be a problem.
天下無双その
Got
力をお見せしま
some
しょう良いでしょう切るぜ効かぬ
Castoria's cheer.
狙うぞ
あの辺りか
狙うぞそ狙うぞ狙うぞ突進ですいけ突進です私だってこれくらい
Man, our damage is really low even at level 80.
効かぬよいなるほど切るぜ
Right, Redra doesn't get an NP. I probably should have brought a saber now that I think about it, but I guess it doesn't matter.
先に行くそうしましょう切るぜなるほど効かぬ
結構素早いので結構頑丈なので結構綺麗なので狙うぞ狙うぞ
切るぜそうしましょう
King Clan Kohei.
After Vision
切るぜそうしましょう
SMP should theoretically deal okay damage.
Hikanu. 先に行く
そっち
あの辺りか
突進
Well, alter egos deal half damage to knight classes, but they don't take any extra damage.
狙うぞ
そうしましょう。
狙うぞ
先に行く。良いです。
突進
効かぬ。効かぬ。効かぬ。
Alright, now I have someone who is an actual NP. Good.
あの辺りか。
待たせて突進行くよ
Abatron.
先切るぜ。あの辺りか。
This should finish off.
距離が合わ
ここはもうちょっと念入りにいい感じ待たせて多すぎてもせーの
Castoria's cheer, Nakanraba's encouragement.
Ah, とても楽しかったとも黄金律にも種類があるのさ腕の見せ所って完了だにゃーにゃーにゃにゃにゃーにゃにゃ私の宝具見たいのかいふむふむ急げや急げ明日が納期だブライダルスピンファイー
Beautiful journey. This should set off all their guts at once.
その勝者を今示そうビューティフルジャーニーさあ行けるとこまで行ってみよう行くよ任せて
先に行く。
いい感じ行くよ
Northern Fairy General.
やることは変わらねえよ。妖精が何だってんだ。切るぜ。先に行く。
I will go with a full Brave Chain from him, see how that
そこ
works.
に至るはあまたの研鑽。気づきに気づいた刀塚。八重垣作るは戦士の刃。知ったら成仏していきな。売れてやるよ。てめえとは反りが合わねえよ。
Dearmood and Bjorn.
折れんなよ。
発進準備完了だ
切るぜ。
早く早く
神髄解明完成理念 収束鍛造技法臨界これが俺のつぶかり村正だ。
どんな嵐であろうとも、どんな未来が待とうとも、これを突破するのが私たちの課題なのさ。ボンビアージョンマガオ諸君。
いざ。
Oh, Fiona got did Fiona get an animation update and I missed it? Might have.
腕の見せ
品田
所って
姫を紙に
やつ。
刺し先に行く。
急げや急げ、明日が納期だ。ブライダルスピンファイ
I'm pretty sure his invuln pierced to get past the evasion, but we'll see. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he doesn't.
ー、楽しかったとも。
切るぜ。
ふむふむ。いいとも。せーの。これ使う？
いざ。
キラキラしてる。発進準備完了だ。早く早く。私の防具みたいな。ふむふむ。
This should do the trick.
どんな嵐であろうとも、どんな未来が待とうとも、これを突破するのが私たちの課題なのさ。ボンビアージョンマガオ諸君。あれはいつか見た終わりの星。
I probably could have put it before. Whatever. This is,
私は星を探すの
I guess I was just worried about the NPs going off when I didn't need to.
カリマン。せーの。戦いはしんどいな。でも君が無事ならそれでオッケー。
Is it just me or were those fairy generals? Yeah, they might have looked awfully familiar, but I'm pretty sure we're only seeing things. Let's move on. There, see? I told you they're amazing. Now that's free. Queen's supposed to keep the promises, right? Of course, believe me, I don't have time to be messing around with you either. I was in the middle of running my military exercise when you decided to steal my chocolate. Also, my enemy's Queen Morgan, not the Child of Prophecy. I have nothing to say to a low-class fairy who hasn't made a name for herself. Go wherever you like, for all I care. Oh, does this mean the King Clan doesn't see the Child of Prophecy as competition? I think it'd be to your advantage to capture us rather than let us go free. Don't give her ideas. Of course it's serious competition. I'm the only king fit to rule Britain. As far as I'm concerned, both Morgan and the Child of Prophecy are obstacles to my rule. That said, I can't take Morgan's army lightly. If I'm gonna win, I need to make use of everything I can. Either Morgan will jump at my provocation and leave her castle to face me, or I'll attack it once my preparations are complete. Either way, I'll need to keep the other clans in check in the meantime, which is why I want the Child of Prophecy to keep stirring things up. Get it? The more you scurry around making trouble, the more Morgan will have to divert forces from me to focus on you. I don't really expect you to ring all the bells of pilgrimage, but could you manage maybe at least, like, 2 of them? If you can manage that, I'll take care of the rest. I'll take control of Camelot, send Morgan packing, and banish every human from this island. As the descendant of the Northern Fairies, the daughter of the Queen Mab. Great Queen Mab, I'll be the one to restore Britain the way it was always meant to be. Still, I'm also very generous. I'm willing to make a few exceptions. Humans are willing to change their ways. I'd set up an autonomous zone for them to live in. As proof, I'll grant you permission to speak freely. If you want to ask me, go ahead, I'll give you an honest answer. Okay, well, in that case... First of all, what's with all those hearts around you? Hearts, that figure of speech or something? Dying to know more about me. Well, I can't blame you, I have something special after all. As you might have trouble believing this, but what you're seeing around me is magical energy I simply cannot keep bottled up inside. As a king clan fairy, I usually try not to show others my hopes and dreams, at least not until I assume the throne, but I can't stop my feelings or passion from spilling out everywhere I go. That's not the kind of thing most fairies brag about, you know. Excuse me, Lady Nakanaria, but we've received word from Edinburgh. What is it? Chances like this don't come along every day. This is about military exercises. I can wait until... No, I'm sorry, this is more about disease, Moore's disease. Not enough transcription, number of Sheffield refugees. Tell them to make a wrist right way. I'll make the selections myself. Looks like our little chat's over. You guys are free. Go where you like. Oh, but I will say one last thing. Try to conduct yourself with at least some dignity. Castoria, don't be a follow king who can't even look the part. If the calamity at Norwich is completely gone. The swirls are gone too. Let me grab a sip of my drink before I continue, just because my throat's getting a little dry. Ah, there we are. Feature was very helpful, but let's go with our usual Zerker strategies then. Although if I'm doing that, I need to bring Scotty. Alright, Skadoodles, we're ready. I think he can take care of all these on his own, but it's worth it. Not sure. I don't know why I keep getting tripped up and not able to figure out how. Things like just the name of team numbers. Oh, whatever.
Good morning.
Here we are. This brave chain should finish if the NP doesn't. 120 and full gold foe is a huge investment, but even that only goes so far.
Good morning.
Ah, wonderful. Goes pretty far, as we can see. Not bad for a low-tier servant. Well, a little trip southbound through the chocolate fields brought us back to southern Britain. Gloucester's not too far from here. How about stopping by? Never been, have you, Happy Cat? No, but it's Marion City, right? I have a pretty clear what it'd be like. Be fun, but I doubt it's got any cute brides for me, so I'm good with whatever the master decides. See, that's too bad. For the time being, we should go somewhere safe. Norwich, perhaps? I agree. Best thing we can do is lay low and plan our next move. If we're going to decide on something important as whether we fight the queen or run from her, we'll need a safe place to consider our plan. Glowcaster is definitely out. I don't know about Murian, but I wouldn't trust Korean Sky as far as I could throw her. What about Welsh Forest? That's Oberon's territory after all. Salisbury could be another good option. How about it? We could tell Lady Aurora everything that's happened so far. So many choices. What do you think, Oberon? Good question. A lot different wouldn't recommend my force. It'd be make for a lousy secret headquarters. I don't think Salisbury and Norwich are safe either. We shouldn't put too much credence in the Queen's promise to leave us alone. If Barrow would have lead Morgan's army, Aurora wouldn't be able to stop him. Looks like Nakanera was right. We need our own military strength. Maybe we should go back to the Storm Border. Besides, it'd be nice to show off for these two. We don't have to go through the Nameless Woods either. We can detour to reach the coast. Plus, we can also stop by Castoria's hometown, Tintagel, on the way. No, let's save that for last resort. We're not running for our lives just yet, after all. If it's military strength we need, we have exactly one option. In fact, I'd say the safest place for the Child of Prophecy right now isn't but Fairy City at all. The city southeast of Oxford. We need to go to England's capital in proper human history. The ruins of Londinium, where the humans set up their home base. Now that Castoria has gotten rid of Norwich's calamity, there's no reason for us to hesitate to knock on their door. I think it's time Britain's destined savior paid the Round Table Army a visit. Ever wondering why I didn't ask Maeve about that? Well, honestly, I kind of forgot the Round Table Army was, but I think there's an obvious reason. She hates humans in general, so of course she wouldn't be too happy about working with an army of pure humans, so probably for the best I just ask about those hearts around her. Here we are. Weird, for some reason I had trouble clicking on it. I don't know how that works, but whatever. Sheesh, an awful lot of time is passing. Most Lostbelts we managed to work out in a matter of days. This one's taking well over a month. Good job, everyone. I know it wasn't easy coming this far without stopping to sleep. We're almost to Londinium now, only 2 hills to go. First, why don't we take a quick break? It's almost lunchtime. I'm sure you'd rather relaxing meal outside instead of rocking back and forth the carriage too, right, Master? Sure, but first things first, are we safe out here? We left the main roads between cities during the night, so I'm sure we won't run into any of the Queen's troops around here. So we're finally visiting Londinium. I wonder what the stories say about it. Well, up until 2,000 years ago, when it was still the Fae era, it was the largest city in all of Britain. It said the 5 fairy clans coexisted there peacefully, and they even chose a human for their lord. Really, does that mean Londinium used to be a human city? It sure does, but it was destroyed during an insurrection that took place at the end of the Fae era. It may have been the most heavily fortified city in Britain at the time, but I guess there wasn't much it could do about an attack from within. Still haven't found out how it ended up in ruins after all that, though. After all, the Queen decided to build a new castle, Camelot, instead of rebuilding Londinium. Huh. You don't know everything about everything after all, huh, Oberon? It was the fairy clans that reduced Londinium to rebel. After Ace ended the war between the various clans, she appointed a human knight to their new king. The human boy was leading the Round Table Army at the time. So this army's been around a while. A huge festival was held to celebrate the new king and his coming reign, but then during his coronation, a group of anti-fairy humans started a riot, and a number of the fairies in Londinium were killed. The clan heads were incensed, so they raided Londinium and put every soldier in the Round Table Army to death. The knight who was supposed to be king after her fell in battle, and Ace was executed after the clan heads held her responsible for the riot. Grimir the Sage managed to give them the slip, and since no one could kill the Black Knight, they crushed his ears and threw him in the sea. By that point, the Tamlin gotten fed up with the whole ridiculous ordeal and decided to go over to Orkney, taking Ace's coffin with them. Ace, that's the fairy who was once treated as Britain's savior, right? From what I heard, her, the Sage, the Black Knight, and the Tamlin all saved Britain countless times. What was the Tamlin's name? Oh, Mike, we told that in Salisbury. I'm pretty sure it was... Huh? That's weird. I know I've heard it before, but I can't remember. Don't worry about it. My point is, Londinium has a lot of history as the home of Britain's humans. I see. It's another case where the name itself has been erased, and therefore no one can remember it. So this new Round Table Army is holed up where the old one got wiped out. ain't the superstitious type, but I also think that's just asking for trouble. Yeah, I guess we just have more proof of how fickle the fairies are, given they had absolutely zero issues turning on Britain's savior and killing them just because of one. Well, I guess I can't just call it an inconvenience because people did die and all that. But at the same time, we'll see what's not a problem once we get to Londinium. Frankly, if you ask me, both Morgan and the clan heads ought to have their heads examined. I don't know why they abandoned Londinium even after they destroyed it. I'm surprised you know so much about Londinium, Happy Cat. I mean, you don't know anything about Gloucester or Salisbury. Oh, I know about Salisbury. It's a city with a big cathedral, right? I've seen Aurora before, too. I just didn't pay much attention. She's not my type. See, so you're sure you're okay with missing out on beautiful cities? Sure, I'm sure. This isn't exactly a sightseeing tour. Kinda curious why you're so considerate of me, though. Fishing for a discounted wedding dress or something? No, I'm not looking for a dress. I haven't even found a partner yet. It's not just that. Guess what? It's nothing. I'm gonna fetch some water. Be right back. That was close. I almost said something shouldn't again. Kind of worried about Happy Cat. I can see Castoria and... Oh, I can see Castoria and the Master's future just fine. But I can't see anything for hers. Moors. More Moors. Crap, I have to kill it before it touches me. Yeah! That's weird. My lance always worked before. Oh, right. That's because Castoria was helping me with her magecraft. No, that's just me. Oh, this is so like me. I always get carried away like that even though I'm weak. I'm gonna die unable to fight back, never having accomplished anything. So Gareth has the ability to see futures, but only for some people, not everyone. You were so close. If you'd just taken 3, 6 steps back and got a running start, you could have definitely taken it out. You're not the biggest fairy out there, so you'll need more than just the weight of a thrust to get through a Moor's skin. Make sure the foot you're bracing on faces forward instead of the side. Be sure to let gravity do the hard work for you. I guess that's something to work on next time, which is all the more reason to stand back up now. Okay, may I ask who? Me, I come out to fetch some water and saw you go in the forest. I was gonna warn you to be careful, so we just tend to get Moors out there. But I guess I was a little too late. Luckily, there's only 2 of them. Think you'd help me? I'd really appreciate it. Yes, of course. I'm Gareth. I'm Percival. Would you mind taking the Moors on the right, then, brave knight? Wait, is it Percival? Oh, he doesn't get his NP. That's gonna be mildly annoying.
はい、いいですとも。お任せください。レッツゴー。おまか、はい、いいですとも。レッツゴー。
Oh, dang, that's good. Alright, Buster Brave Chain, let's go. won. I can't believe I beat more as my own. That was great. Don't sell yourself short. You're already strong, and you'll only get stronger the more you train. Oh, by the way, Gareth, right? I don't recall seeing you around here before. You should know there's gonna be a big battle here soon. You're probably safer heading to Norwich or Manchester instead of standing here. Unless you're coming to join Londinium's Roundtable Army. Good reason to hope we can get this point. Even so, I'm not sure Londinium is the best place for a lovely girl like yourself. There's still lots of holes in the roofs we haven't gotten to patching up yet, not to mention the ghosts that haunt us at night. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt, but did you say your name is Percival? That's me, a good name for a human is. I'm pretty fond of myself. Oh, please, let me introduce myself. I'm Gareth, the Tenant of the Child of Prophecy. I'm here to tell you she's making her way to Londinium right now. Wait, what? Hmm. Alright, guess we're finally gonna meet the army. Gareth is really taking her time. Maybe I'm getting worked up over nothing. Don't worry. You know, I think I'll go fetch water myself. I think we can cross the hills after I get back. I'll go Wait, what? Is that Gareth back? Huh, wonder why she's jumping up and down all excited like. I see she has someone with her, tall and handsome. I recognize that oversized breastplate. Hey guys, you'll never believe this. Look who I met, it's Percival, the leader of the Round Table Army and the strongest human in Britain. That is indeed a giant chest plate. I'm sorry, I know this isn't the most proper introduction. It's an honor to meet you, Child of Prophecy, and you, Foreign Mage. I'm Percival, the Round Table Army's acting leader. I know I'm just like the knight, but I'm really just an ignorant country boy. I've never studied the ways of chivalry, so please forgive any inadvertent rudeness on my part. Redra, why are you so worked up? You mean you don't know? He's the only person in all of Fairy Britain who rides into battle on the back of a fairy horse, the strongest, most spiritual human ever. I can't think of a more touching sight than a rider or a horse in perfect sync, each entrusting the other with their lives. Just imagine a rider and the horse sharing one mind, one body. It'd be a miraculous dream come true. Well, thank you. Country would be thrilled to hear that. I don't know what I'd do without her. Oh, sorry, I got a little off track. I tend to do that whenever someone brings up my trusty sidekick, trusty partner. I understand why you're here now. You need a safe place to prepare for your confrontation with the Queen's army, yes? And you're very welcome to stay with us. I'm afraid it still needs a lot of repairs, and it's not the best shape to welcome a child of prophecy. But it's also one of the most heavily fortified places in Britain. I promise my soldiers and I will keep you safe while you plan your next move, then. Supply team's back with lumber. Let's go work repairing those ramparts. 80% of the outside walls, 20 of the inner. Focus on patching up the kids' home source. The disguised merchants are heading out to Norwich this afternoon to buy supplies. If there's anything you need, add it to the list. Don't be shy, we got the Count backing us. Just go easy on the luxury goods. Yeah, yeah. Remember, we can't match the Fang Clan's speed. We need to fight smarter, not harder. Take a beat before following up your spear strikes. Your opponent will dodge them easily if you thrust too soon. Keep your spears pointed ahead as you see a shield coming, and don't forget to keep your sword in hand too, so you can stab the opponent in the flank at the same time. Don't bother with bows and arrows. You'll never hit anyone. The enemy will see you coming the moment you take aim. We'll have 10 archers firing volleys from Lombards for defense. It should keep the enemy back, but if they actually hit someone even better. I only barely know how to sharpen blades, but I can still help. Look, mister, the tip of your spear's chipped. You'll never beat the fairy's fangs with that. Why don't you stop by our smithy? It ain't exactly pristine, but sure is lively. Everyone's running around keeping busy with something. At a glance, looks like they got around 300 combat-ready soldiers, give or take. If you count the humans taking shelter here, that about doubles their numbers. They probably have the old and feeble ones doing needlework in the back. This is great, I love it. It's not an army so much as a whole city in the middle of being rebuilt. I'm gonna look for brides. I know what you mean. The wall and roads may be in terrible shape, but there's more life here than we've seen in any of the other cities. Of course, this is where London's located in proper human history. No wonder there's so much energy. Something wrong, Castoria? Oh, sorry, it's nothing. I was wondering why such a beautiful place was. Castoria? What were you thinking, Commander? You can't just go off jumping off the ramparts running the woods like that. You're the cornerstone of the Round Table Army, the hope of everyone. You can't just wander off because something catches your eye anymore. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice you had people with you. Are you all here to join the Round Table Army? If you come with me, registration. Oh, that won't be necessary, Magare. These people aren't here to join us. They're very important guests, isn't that right, Oberon? Yep, at least for now. Whether they end up joining the Round Table Army or not is ultimately up to Castoria. Oh, it is Oberon. When did you get here? Hey, everyone, the big jerk Oberon's back. Really him, Oberon the Gold-Hearted. He just showed up out of nowhere again. Where the hell he been all this time? Better be sticking around a while. You don't want to make kids cry, do you? Every time you leave, it takes a little longer to cheer them all back up. Goes to the ladies, too. Your sweet nothings always makes you feel like princesses. While we love those little moments of affection, you also need to take care of us afterwards. We have lots of work to do, you know. Really, Oberon? I guess Midsummer Night's Dream really was accurate. Hey, it's not what you think, okay? I'm a very serious person here in London, I swear. Oh yeah, you're serious. Serious about putting performances on every chance you get. Whenever you show up, the whole Round Table Army goes back to being ordinary citizens. It's the closest thing we have to a festival around here. Don't get me wrong, keeps us smiling even when times are tough, but hang on. Didn't you say the next time you come back you bring the Child of Prophecy? No way, does that mean... Oh crap. That's right, this is Castoria, the savior of Norwich you've all heard so much about. Her staff of selection was sent here from paradise, just like Percival's sphere of selection. She's the Child of Prophecy, the savior of Britain you've all been waiting for. Well, at least they didn't do the we thought it was Gareth or whatever joke instead. Not really, it's like a festival. I guess we won't be able to talk to Castoria for a while. Seems like everyone in the town's got the Child of Prophecy fever. Maybe we should help out Oberon? I don't think she's too big on being fawned all over like that. Oh, I'm sure she isn't. Castoria's always been keenly aware of the pressure with fairies pinning her hopes on her. At the same time, she's always been good at handling those very hopes. What do you think, Master? Should we rescue her from that crowd? Nah, she's not making the face she usually does. Oh, you look happy about this, Master. Is she really differently than usual? She sure is. Usually she stutters around and fumbles for words, for guilt and lack of confidence, but now this time... This is Londinium, a city of dreams of a proper future for Britain. The people she's talking to now aren't just hoping to keep them safe because they're only worried about themselves. She's seeing something much purer than that now. In fact, I bet she's actually proud to be the Child of Prophecy for the first time in her life. It's like her eyes have been clouded by everything she's seen, and she's finally seeing clearly. Does that mean Castoria and Oberon's eyes are... I'm sorry everyone kept you so long. I hope it wasn't too much bother. Oh, no bother at all. They were incredibly nice. You'll have to tell them I enjoyed my time immensely. But on another note... Muramas is the only one not here. Is he still talking with the townspeople? Hey, sorry I'm late. I had to take care of something. Turns out they do have a smithy here, but it's in damn shambles. They got a great furnace, but only one guy knows how to tend it worth a damn. You ought to come take a look-see. It's one hell of a fixer-upper. They got a ton of quartz crystals, too, so you can make all the glass you want. Oh, really? That sounds great. I'll definitely have to check it out. But not right now. Percival's about to show us the Round Table Army's war room. As a member of the Child Property's entourage, you're not to go off on your own like that anymore. Entourage? Where'd you turn over to Miss High and Mighty? You ain't even rung a damn bell yet. All that attention go to your head? Nah, that it's knocking area, isn't it? Yeah, I get it. It must be rough seeing your old frenemy living it up as a queen. Then again, it's not like you two work with the same materials. It's a shame you're a little lacking in sex appeal to be queen yourself. I heard that, Miramasa. There's more than one way to be a king. Guess you're right. Sorry, I shouldn't have been running my mouth like that. Nakanare's weird aura must have left a bigger impression on me than I realized. It's wonderful to see you get along so well. And I don't just mean the two of you, I mean everyone. I was worried the Child of Prophecy might be buckling under the weight of her incredible responsibilities, but it looks like I was worried a lot from your example. Oh, not at all. I'm always learned a lot from the people of Londinium. I've been to plenty of difficult cities, and they all had various class differences and complaints about the Queen. Even so, one thing they all had in common was a wish for someone to save them from the situation. The people of this town are different. They're all so honest, and they don't depend on anyone else. Now that I've talked to them myself, I can see the fairies standing up for humans and the humans standing up for fairies. They're not just fighting for themselves, they're standing up for the queen to make it better for everyone. And I think that's exactly what a true knight of the round table should be. People who don't stand above or below, but all stand side by side. That's why the table's round. I think. I genuinely don't know. I have no way of knowing what a true knight of the round table is supposed to be like, but it's true the round table army isn't a resistance run solely by or for humans. We want to change things for humans, we want to change Britain for the better first and foremost. We don't differentiate between the two, we're just people who share a dream for the future. Even I'm no more than one of many such people Lord Oberon assembled. Oberon, wait, you don't mean... No wonder you're so weirdly popular. That's right, Lord Oberon himself founded the Round Table Army. He saved me when I had nowhere else to go, removed the curse on Londinium, and carefully, quietly traveled to Britain in search of like-minded people. Wait, he removed the curse? Well, I suppose he can have quite a bit of power but not use it for combat. I mean, maybe he's a healer. I mean, Abatrod there is basically a healer at this point. And he works himself to the bone to keep us funded, though I've also heard he's earned a reputation of a notorious debtor throughout Britain. A lot of soldiers are under the impression that I'm the Round Table Army's leader, but I believe that role does belong to Oberon. Oh, come on, cut that out. I've told you before. All I did was invest in the operation. You're the Round Table Army's leader, Percival. You're the one who grew it to this size. Haha, alright, if you insist. Let's say I managed to find all these wonderful allies through one person's dedicated efforts rather than good fortune. Anyways, now that you're all more acclimated to a Londinium, let me show you to our headquarters. Unfortunately, it's the only place so far to be well guarded and have a proper roof, so sorry about that. Hang on, what's that picture on the wall? Picture? Oh, that's a mural painted during the Fey era. None of us know much about it, though. You better show it to us. Is that 6 fairies dancing around a large beast? It almost looks like they're holding a festival. I've never seen any beast like that in Britain before. Looks like some kind of monster to me. Maybe a personification of the calamities? Well, now that you mention it, it actually does look kind of similar to the Calamity in Norwich. I don't know if I agree with that. The beast almost looks like it loves them. I think so too. You can't feel it because you're a proper human history, Mermasa, but this beast is definitely depicted as very loving. No British fairy would be afraid of this mural. If anything, I'd think they'd see it as grand. Huh, because I'm proper human history work spirit? And can't tell how it feels to be Gareth and Albatross, and I'm not a fairy myself, but this wouldn't happen to be a religious painting, would it, Percival? A religious painting. I'm sorry, I don't know what that word means. All I know is this mural originally belonged to the fairies of Orkney, the Rain clan. It's said the Knight of Londinium brought it here from the ruins of Orkney, while Londinium was still being constructed. Apparently it depicts the creation of Britain, and in old fairy language it's known as the Abyssal Worm. An Abyssal Worm, even though it looks like a huge beast? Oh, he's probably referring to the creature on the bottom there. Oh, is something wrong, Master? Did you see something suspicious? Felt like I was being... watched. Hey, Da Vinci, you said this was a religious painting, right? You mean you think it's a god? Yeah, it probably is. The 6 fairies are obviously stands for the 6 clans, probably the original forefathers. And whatever the big thing is, they're clearly worshipping it. That must mean this creature stands above the fairies, which would make it a god. It could also be a fairy king, or some other status above the others. Indeed, it might have been whatever led the Fey clans prior. They did say most of the Fey era knowledge is lost after all. But the thing is, there are no gods in Fairy Britain. Like I said, that cathedral is only for show. I've been to almost every city in Britain looking for information. I've never seen another mural like that. That's my point. This mural's been around since before Morgan's rule. Hell, it's been around since before Fairy Britain was even a thing. Oh, so it's depicting something of Fey era from before it came the High Queen. Wait, and does that mean Queen Morgan doesn't know about this mural? Nah, she must. It's probably no accident that it was left out of the history books. Yeah, history is written by the winners, and Morgan was most definitely the winner. Yeah, I would wager she intentionally made sure it wasn't mentioned so that there'd be no question that there could be anyone higher than her. After all, if no gods even exist as a concept, or any higher beings, period, that would mean... Once Morgan became queen, she wanted to be the only power the fairies believed in. Yeah, exactly. She erased the concept of godhood by pretending it never existed. That way it could never pose a threat to her rule. May just be the mural holds part of the answer that causes the calamities and why there are no gods in Britain. Too bad the only words written are written Old Fairy, and I can't make heads or tails of it. Can you read it, Oberon? Here, look, this part definitely looks like writing. I'm sorry, but no. I can kind of read modern fairy language now, but this is beyond me. Because the only people who can read this are in Camelot's administration. I see, well that's too bad. Gosh, I had no idea this picture was so important. I'm sorry I'm too uneducated to be of any help. It's not your fault, Percival. As established, Morgan has been intentionally controlling the flow of information to an extent, specifically to prevent anyone else from knowing about it. There's nothing you can do about that. Still, if it's important, I'll make arrangements to have it properly preserved instead of leaving it exposed to the elements. I'll also look for historians and have them dig around and see if there's any other noble artifacts. If we're lucky, they might be able to turn up some precious records. Good idea. Once we take over Norwich, we should have a lot more personnel to work with. Either way, we need to get to work on restoring Londinium, so the sooner we can put together a plan, the better. Wait. I'm sorry, did you just say take over Norwich? Yeah, that's, not something you should really be skimming over there, Oberon. Not saying I'm necessarily against it, mind you. It seems like a nice one to add to our empire, and as I play empire-building games here, I know the appeal of wanting a really good city in the empire, but yeah, that's not something you just drop casually. Alright, welcome to the War Room. We've repurposed a room from the bell tower because gives us a view of all of Londinium. We've also repurposed the rooms on the floor right below his guest room, so I hope you'll find them to your liking. Thanks, we have something a bit more important to talk about right now. Are you serious about taking over Norwich? I thought the Round Table Army's only enemy was the Queen. What reason could you attack anywhere apart from Camelot? You're right. Almost such a thing is unthinkable right now, but we can't afford to ignore what's going on in Norwich. Your valiant efforts did lead to the destruction of the Calamity at Norwich, but the child of prophecy left Camelot, Spriggan petitioned the Queen for military aid. He claims the residents now support the child of prophecy are now traitors of the crown, using the child of prophecy as an excuse to massacre fairies and take back his land. This is no doubt a very desperate action, because as we learned before in part 1, his entire goal was to have the Calamity wipe out Norwich so that he could claim the land and earn a lot of money. The worst thing that could happen is that it gets saved, and now that it has, he has to do something to get rid of everyone there so he can buy back the land. Otherwise, he's lost everything. We only just learned about it yesterday from some secret correspondence from someone calling himself the Count. The Queen's forces will probably arrive at Norwich tonight. I doubt we have more than 2 days to spare. We've already put out a call from our comrades across the land to come back. As soon as they're all here, we'll set out for Norwich. Our goal is to occupy the gate and take control of the city before Spriggan can have his citizens massacred, even if they pant as barbaric invaders for doing so. I don't much like our chances of victory. Norwich's people aren't going to be happy to see us. Most fairies think the Round Table Army is a gang of militant humans. I doubt they'll see much difference between the Round Table Army and Spriggan, really. A gang of human militants. Please, I don't want you worrying about this. We're the ones who made this call. This isn't your battle to fight. You're here to recover. You'll be safe here. Not even the Queen's Magecraft can reach you here. Master? I know how Castoria must be feeling right now, too, yeah. You want me to be the one to say it, don't you? Alright, let's go ring that bell, Castoria. I guess you're right. Oh man, this is gonna be tough. Alright, I understand. I've made up my mind, too. First of all, you haven't once asked for my help, and neither did the people of Londinium. All you've done is encourage me and worry about me. You haven't demanded I save you in return or anything at all. You only wish me luck. So I'm gonna do my part, too. I can't ring Norwich's bell by myself. I'm going to need your help. So please help me. Help me show everyone the Round Table Army isn't some gang of militant humans, but comrades of the Childs of Prophecy who are just intent of saving Britain as she is. It would be my genuine pleasure, Castoria. Thank you. I can't say if this battle of ours will ultimately be for good or evil, but I can swear upon the land we will do our best to make you proud. Allow me to fill you in on the makeup of the Round Table Army. We have one company made up of about 400 fairies and humans under my command that serves as our main military force. We also have about 5 platoons of 50 soldiers each. 2 platoons were led by 2 fairy knights who were part of the Queen's Army, Auralia and Atoll. The other 3 were led by human knights, Kenwood, Land, and Calwas. I'll introduce you to everyone later. We have another 5 squads made up of like-minded comrades but still in training. The instructor is Secretary Magar, whom you all met earlier. Londinium is also home to a large number of civilians, as you've seen for yourselves. They're the ones who handle construction, sewing, cooking, smithing, governance, and education. So basically infrastructure. It's a lot of work for only 300 people, but they've all been doing a great job. Next, I shall tell you about the city's reconstruction timetable and the amount of resources we need for enrichment. Whoa, hold on, Percival. Why don't you just tell all the nitty-gritty stuff later? Right now, it'll probably be better if you just focus on the Norwich attack. I mean, see for yourself. Doing her best to listen politely, even though she's barely following along. See, they hit their limits a while ago. You have to understand, it's only been the 8 of us for a while now. So you really need to ease them into discussions with the best use of thousands of personnel, you know? You're right, I'm sorry. I was just so touched by what she said, I was running my mouth. I'm embarrassed. Oh no, it's okay. I'm rambly when I'm happy too. Oh man, I know exactly how that feels. And I have something to say. Hey, I can ramble on for way ages. Hey, you can just call me Castoria like you did before? I don't think I'm ready for lady yet. Of course, let me try this again. Alright, we plan on sending about half my company and 3 of our platoons in Norwich, so about 400 soldiers total. In the meantime, the Count gathered a group of anti-Queen, well, anti-Spriggan really, MPs and residents in Norwich who are also willing to fight. Until they number about 400 as well, so between ourselves and the Count, we should have about 800. That's what we'll have to defeat the troops the Queen sends Camelot with, and to help you reach the bell tower in Spriggan's castle. 800, huh? Ain't much if you're hoping to control both the city and Spriggan's castle. Not to mention, we'll be up against fairies while half our soldiers are human. You're not worried you might be a little outclassed? No, I'm not. The Round Table Army uses weapons and tactics optimized for fighting fairies. I have complete faith in our ability to make up for the difference in raw power. However, Spriggan's Vault Castle, as you call it, will be too much for us to handle. It's an impregnable iron tower that neither human nor fairy could possibly break through, so I'll have to ask your help in infiltrating it. Master Oberon has told me about your magecraft. He says you're capable of summoning warriors from the battle that can easily make up defeat an entire platoon. We won't be able to break through by sheer force. Our only hope is a small team to sneak in and open it from within. It'll be a dangerous mission, but will you accept? Don't worry, I'm great at that sort of thing, and so is Castoria. Just don't bring in Merlin Magecraft now. Alright, thank you. With you and Castoria helping, we have a real chance of victory. The platoons we have out on patrol south right now will be back by evening. Once they arrive, we'll set up for Norwich. Ideally, we should be able to arrive under the cover of night and take control of the city before Spriggan can act. I hope you don't mind that I'll be leading the charge once we arrive, Castoria. Not at all, this is your army. You should be the one giving the orders. Alright, I'll go plan our attack with this new development in mind. The Count was kind enough to enclose a map in this letter. This should help secure us around inside. Man, Count Pepperon doesn't miss a trick, does he? I expect we'll be leaving about 3 hours. Until then, it's time to relax. Gotcha, I'm gonna pay the textile workshop a visit then. That pile of unused cloth scraps was downright obscene. I know the weavers must be busy, but you can make so many cute clothes with children with all that. So I'm gonna help them out and prove just how dependable Happy Cat can be. As for me, I consider myself your apprentice now, Percival. I'd love if you could give me more lessons on how to improve. Of course, though I'm afraid I can only spare time until strategy outline comes in. I'm gonna give the kids at the smithy some pointers. As far as I can tell, this whole city's only got one decent blacksmith and a whole bunch of apprentices. Guess I better put some overtime since I can't help much with battle. Is there anything you'd like me to look into, Percival? Yes, I'd like to see what's happening in Oxford. Woodwoes is the most likely of all the clan heads to lose patience first. So after Norwich, I'm guessing he'll be our next major threat. I'm inclined to agree, yes. I'll talk to Aurora as well, see if she can't keep him occupied for us. Aurora, but I thought she only has a self-defense force, not an army. Armies are just one of the tools for fighting a war, Da Vinci. You see, Woodwoes has kind of a thing for Aurora lately. So if the woman he wants so much but hasn't given the time of day he wanted to see him... Ah, right. Even back in the meeting, he openly said he only really respected himself and Aurora because they were the only ones taking the whole situation remotely seriously. Whoa, that's a bit cold, Oberon. Oh, don't worry, Aurora's a lot more open-minded than you might think. She'll be genuinely happy to show some affection. No way, as kind as she is, she might actually make Woodwoes fall hard for her. But America understand being too nice might lead him on a bit. Alright, I'm gonna fly over to Salisbury if all goes well. See you guys again in Northwich. Okay, I'm gonna introduce myself to Secretary Magare. What are you gonna do? I'll take Percival up on his kind offer and take a nap in the room below. Looks like we have a long night to march, so I best rest up while we can. I should probably check in on Redra. Oh yeah, last I saw, the kids were packed so tightly around him in the town square he could barely move. I imagine he could use some help about now. Alright then, everyone, please meet back here in 3 hours. Our assault on Norwich begins at sunset. Norwich 2. I was wondering why the Norwich was Norwich 1. Only really covered southern, aside from, I guess, Sheffield and Gloucester. No, Gloucester's here, isn't it? And these fields are likely Knockin area. And that's, of course, the remains of the Tree of Emptiness. I'm gonna grab a sip of my drink before I start again. This is definitely gonna be murder on my throat. I'm still quite curious to what this shell here is in the corner. And I imagine that all this, the shell, the star, the crystal forest, beehive, whatever the heck this is, I'm pretty sure all of it's going to be relevant at some point because I doubt they put all those just for decoration. Who knows, maybe we'll have this or this potato here. Alright, time for Norwich Part 2. I was born on a human ranch and raised in Salisbury along with a number of other human children. We probably needed more humans to fight against the Moors. They treated us all pretty well. They didn't just provide us with food, clothing, and shelter, they also built a school for us to attend. I remember how much that surprised me, since I always heard any humans that leave a ranch would never be free. That's why I've never had any animosity towards fairies. Thanks to them, I grew up big and strong, and eventually got this spear. However, I still know very little about the fairy who took me in. It's probably because they raised a lot of human children, not just me. Around the time I became a full-fledged soldier, I heard of the fairy who'd taken us all from the ranch passed away. Aw. Shortly afterwards, the rearing house where our school had been was shut down and put Salisbury behind me. After that, I dedicated myself to combat training until I took on an escort job for a small forest village. I was told I should enter the next joust in Camelot and got a letter of recommendation. I heard about that. That was the Robin Redbreast tournament they had 5 years ago. So you're the human knight made all the way to the finals? Yes, I was quite lucky to make it to the end, though I had a very poor showing in the finals. Still, I'm very glad I was able to speak with Queen Morgan directly. It gave me the resolve I needed to make up my mind. Talking to her made it clear she sees humans and fairies as nothing more than tools. She's perfectly satisfied with the current state of Britain and has no intent of changing it. Once I saw that for myself, I ultimately decided to make an organization that would help the Child of Prophecy whenever she appeared. No kidding, so this whole rebel army was originally your idea. So Oberon came with the idea of making it the Round Table Army then? Yes, it was. My comrades and I protected a merchant caravan from Moors attacks when Moors attacks when Lord Oberon came to me and said, "You'll never get anywhere like that, Percival. If you keep this up, your white light will rust." From there on, he began managing us himself, and before I knew it, our rebel army had become the Round Table Army. Even for so early on, huh? Gotcha. So what's this white light of yours anyway? You're only human, so if you're defeating fairies with that, must be a pretty impressive technique. Oh, it's not a technique. White light is my spear here. It's a spear of selection, one of Ace's weapons. The fairy who took it in gave it to me. Apparently it's a holy spear that only responds to one without sin. No fairy can use it. Selection. Does that make it like your staff, Castoria? I'm not sure, but I think they're at least a little different. I mean, one's a spear, one's a staff. I do sense something similar, but the spear feels empty. I can tell it's an amazing weapon, but also seems like it's not chosen anymore. I'd agree with that. I sense the same thing whenever I hold it. It feels like a piercing wave of regret, profound grief over some kind of past failure. The spear's inner lamentations well up every time I swing it, and they leave trails of magic light behind with tears. That's how it became to be known as white light. The spear is no longer meant for saving fairies, now it exists only for killing them. That's how it originally was supposed to be used, but that also means it's the only weapon out there able to stand up to the Tamlin. But if it's true that only one without sin can wield it, I expect there will be a time I won't be able to wield it. That's not true, you're a wonderful person. You protect the weak, you can never act with self-interest, you're an ideal knight, you can never be seen as a sinner. If I try to use it, I'd be rejected before I can even touch it for being too weak. Don't be silly, Gareth, you know there's no such sin. Dawn's approaching, Percival. It's a difficult march, but we've made it in time. Shall we deploy the troops once we cross the next hill? Please do. I'm putting Landon in charge of the company while I'm gone. I'd like you and him to remain on standby for 1 hour. Child of Prophecy and I will go on ahead to make sure our way to Norwich using the route the sewage system can't open for us. Once we're inside, we'll rendezvous with the anti-Spriggan faction. After that, we'll start a riot in the city and take advantage to open up the main gate from the inside. Once open, I want your troops to neutralize the Queen soldiers on the ramparts. In the meantime, we'll take Landon's troops and split out Queen soldiers occupying Norwich. Once the enemy force has been neutralized, we'll surround the vault castle. Understood. Please be careful out there, Commander. That goes for you too, Auralia. Sorry I ask so much of you again. That's okay, I'm used to it. Child of Prophecy, please look after Percival. There you have it. From here on, we'll be on our own. Our goal is to infiltrate Norwich while it's still dark and create a distraction. Please make sure you're thoroughly prepared. This is probably going to be a very long battle. Oh, I'm ready. I'm more than ready. Oh, hey, you're right on time, Master. Count Pepperon, you're here. Thanks for coming to greet us yourself. Well, of course, hon. I invited you, didn't I? I'll go wherever I have to be it the sewers, the morgue. Now let's see who else we've got here. Miss Da Vinci, Muramasi, Garethy, Habitra, and... Oh my, what have we here? An enemy? An enemy? Where? Save me, Percy. Save me. Percy? Please cut it out or I'll tell him your real name. Okay, you're right, I'm sorry. I got a little excited since I've never seen anyone like him before. Welcome to Norwich's sewer system. I take it you are Percival of the Round Table Army. I'm Count Pepperona. Please call me the Count. Oh, sir, the Count. My apologies. I thought you were a night call at first. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yes, I'm Percival of the Round Table Army. Thank you for telling us about this crisis in Norwich. Not all, hun. If anything, I should be thanking you guys for handling the bloody parts for me. I just noticed one of you missing. What happened to him? Who, Raedra? Oh, that's it. The peppy one. Raedra stayed a bit behind in Londinium. He said he wasn't going to come along if he can't pull a carriage. Oh, I see. That was smart of him. Aurora must have taught him well. Alright, well, let me show you the way. Once we reach the surface, I'm gonna have you all split up into 2 teams. Team B will draw the Queen's soldiers away from the main road. C will unlock the main gate from the inside. Castoria, Muramasi, you two will be Team B. Percival, Gareth, Habitrot, you be Team C. Master, I want you and Da Vinci to support both teams. We're seriously outnumbered here, so you'll have to ensure both teams have as much servant power as they need. You can handle this, right? It's hardly your first rodeo, right? Couldn't help but notice there's no Team A in that lineup. You're right. I'll have to remedy that someday. Once you're a real master in the true sense of the word, you, me, and Kadok can be all Team A together. I can't wait. Understood, shall we? Oh yes, it's time Spriggan finally got what's coming to him. Lord Spriggan, the Round Table army's begun attacking the main gate. You don't say. The Round Table army isn't like the other rebels. They are rebels. They are, in fact, an actual proper army. They would never launch a frontal assault on our gate with only 300 soldiers, which much mean... Lord Spriggan, the Queen's soldiers are reporting that Norwegians have begun an armed uprising throughout the city. They say they're rising up with the Queen's unjust rule, and there have also been reports of Child of Prophecies there among them, yes? Yes, sir. She has the townspeople inspired the Queen's soldiers are having a hard time fending them off. Ha 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 ha. Now that's more like it. Spriggan, please stay with us. We need to give orders. Oh, don't worry, I'm perfectly calm. Tell our soldiers this. Defend your posts until the Queen's army has been neutralized, after which you are to surrender or retreat to the Vault Castle. Focus all efforts on defense and avoid harming civilians wherever possible. Got that? Remember, only the Queen's soldiers should be fighting the Child of Prophecy. Tell our soldiers the only concern is defending Norwich. Oh, and tell the guard station the bell tower stand down. I'll go greet our guests myself. Yes, sir. Alright, Master Chaldea, let's see what you can do. I hope you've got what it takes, because everything is riding on your shoulders. If the Child of Prophecy really does have a shot at victory, she may not be such a bad investment. Besides, I was getting fed up with pulling the wool over these damn fairies' eyes. Fence sitting when you're not sure about things is one thing, but this guy's an absolute gold digger. Formation limited. Castoria alt guest only. All the night classes, huh? There's only one class that can handle all night classes, and it's not here. Well, there's a few things I could do. I could go with an AoE Rider, neutral damage, or... Actually, I think I'll do precisely that. Where is it? I don't like how one summer is pure HP and dive to blue is split. That is really not good. Painting summer is also... I also have painting summer, but that is also a split stat one. I hear there's another one coming in the summer event, but I suppose I'll have to make do with dive to blue for now. Whatever. At least Quick has a pretty good one right here. I should really put some of these event CEs in my second archive for a bit. It's not a big deal, and I do have those CE bombs for whenever a good one comes out, but we'll see, I guess.
出番かい。いいぜ。ちったら楽させてやるよ。
30%. 30%. Another. There we are. Surfer Mordred, let's go. She's my top rider for a reason. A little annoying, but I can do it this way, I suppose. I should be able to MP spam through this. Alright, these are all... Yeah, these guys are weak to alter egos, so we're in good shape. Red Dane the Knight. Fortunately, Mordred's buffs have ended, so... Not much I can do here except try and add a few more. Best of my ability. I see, he's protected against consecutive hits. Fortunate for him, Muramasa... I don't want to waste Muramasa's... I can't waste the NP on this, so let's do it this way. Just... Still, it's a break bar. He might instantly fill his NP of bar and use it. My defense will not be down by the likes of this.
んなよ。
もちろん。
よっしゃ
Might as well get the NP going as well as try and charge some of the others.
神髄解明完成任務収束鍛造技法臨界これが俺の素深い裏技だ。
Alright, so you need to make sure to go hard on for the first hit if you don't have defense pierces. Not a problem, I don't think.
あの辺りか。
Saber on you there.
連れてやるよ。てめえと距離が合わねえよ。
Wow, he really hates Castoria, doesn't he? A little painful.
ただいま整理中大切にケアしないと白熱いきますさあよっしゃそら来い
The NP down is going to be really painful,
だっ
but
たな水曜のオーナね行くぞエヴァ
alright, it really reduced the damage, but it still killed, so that's all that matters.
グレートさあ波乗り波乗り
And the berserkers in the back in case anything went wrong, but nothing did. Alright, that takes care of most of them. We can handle the rest. Go on to the gate, Master. Percival needs our help now, not us. Please watch Gareth's back too. She has a bad habit of being reckless. Okay, be careful, you two. Wow, that was interesting. Ah, and it's allowing me my Castoria. Well then, I guess we've won, haven't we? Haha. I can also make sure Gareth is the one who gets all the pain, feels all the pain. Once again, some knights, so... Actually, I can bring Vitra. Actually, maybe I would want... No, I can't remove her from the formation there. They have to be in the front. Never mind, I'll just have Vitra in back here in case it becomes relevant. I actually used Queen Sheba for some of the fights, like against Amon Ra for the memorial quests. She actually did rather well, I forgot. Might as well bring her here. I don't think she's gonna arrive in time, but she does have NP5 if she needs it. She has a nice buff to look forward to next year as well, which is always nice. Oh, he doesn't have an NP.
結構器用なので結構素早いので負けないぞもちろんもちろん
Good thing about my Castoria, you see, is that she actually has her skill leveled. That's why I keep insisting on bringing her. Well, I guess they want you to face card this, hence why they're forcing 2 up front. But it doesn't matter. Yeah, Percival has 2 arts cards. I can work with that.
Hi.
やります
Oh, wow. Good damage.
ここで
Lucky crits. Really lucky crits. Wow. Unfortunately, it's not going... I can't avoid using Gareth's NP here. Which means I'm going to lose the attack buffs.
アフタービジョン狙うそっち
We'll do it this way, I suppose, just to avoid wasting the stacks. Yeah, for some reason, Gareth's attack buffs are only on the next attack she performs, and depending on how the cards fall, you might not be given that option. I could have used Castoria's NP to avoid it, but I didn't want to waste it this early. Oh wait, what am I doing? Brave
いい
Chain.
ですお任せくださいはいお任せください先行
Charge preparation. They really love that Buster Down, don't they? Unfortunately for them, they did not hit Castoria, and Castoria actually has a decent attack stat, although granted, she's not hitting class disadvantage here like they are. Like the Lancers are, I mean. They don't have triangle advantage, is what I'm trying to say. Blue perches the knight. Ice attack of judgment. I can't use it while she has the Buster Down, it'll do no damage. Oh my. Well, I'll do it one at a time. There we go, broke the break bar. Everyone dies to my ice attack. Bella means focus on Gareth. Not Castoria, you dick! I hate to use it like this, but I don't have a choice. This attack down's really painful, but I don't want to lose Castoria. That's also why I'm not using any defense buffs here. I want him to take out Gareth. Probably shouldn't have used the buff, I was intending to do that, I guess. Wow, he really hates Castoria. This should be effective. Castoria's NP removes all debuffs, so that should make this easier. It does pretty much everything but heal, which is why when I want a long battle, I bring Tummo too. Although granted, you don't need that in most farming. shame to lose him, but it's fine. Beatra's here, and he's going to get his ass kicked. Alright, so that move can't kill. That is a mistake you're going to live to regret, my friend.
むにゃむにゃ
Oh, this can remove a defense buff, so here we go.
結構素早いのね
I don't think he's going to survive this.
これ仕方ない
Alright.
本気など出さない
Beatra, finish it.
天よ天元の鱗に閉ざされる地退職があるのまるうち明日はシュレーした、はあ、鐘の音が聞こえる
And she didn't even have the maximum buff she could have. Saber. A report from Captain Lannon, sir. They've taken full control of the South District. A report from Captain Arola as well. The Queen's soldiers near the main gate have retreated and are losing 20% of their force. Great work. Now we have to do the same in the North District. We're gonna head to the Vault Castle. Take anyone who surrenders to custody and have Arola's squad look after them. Yes, sir. Understood. This is a lot harder than I thought it'd be. Gareth Abitrot, you stay here. We're Masa, Castoria, Da Vinci, Master. The 5 of us will infiltrate the castle. Is that alright with you? Okay, just try and stop me. Been waiting to smack the smug out of Spriggan for a while now. You said it, we're nearly there. My oh my, still so fiery, I see. Now I'm really glad I went to the trouble of securing that route in for you. None of the Queen's soldiers are stationed at the Vault Castle. Once you get past Spriggan's guards... Wait a second, the front door is open? I'm not sensing any soldiers. It looks like the path to Bell Tower is clear. Do you think it's a trick? Probably yes, but not for us. This is only for Castoria, the Child of Prophecy, and Queen Morgan. Spriggan's a sly old fox, isn't he? He's just handing the bell over to us. Makes sense though, he gains nothing by trying to protect it at this point. He must be trying to surrender without defying the Queen. He wants to be able to deny any involvement in ringing the bell. Well, this is a surprise. I thought we'd never be able to take control of Norwich without ringing the bell. But if Spriggan's pulled his soldiers back, he must not have any intention of fighting. That means our battle to occupy Norwich is over. We no longer have to ring the bell to win. That said, whether we go ring it now or not is up to the Child of Prophecy. If she does, the declaration of war. There's no going back. I hate to play into Spriggan's hands, but I doubt we'll ever get another opportunity like this. Let's go. Bell or no bell, Spriggan's inside. Between him just letting the calamity happen and the stunt he's trying to pull, I can't just let him go. I want to know exactly what the head of the Earth Clan was thinking, what exactly the head of the Earth Clan's thinking when making these decisions. Oh, we didn't run to a single soldier on the way up, let alone Spriggan himself. I got a hell of a bad feeling about this, chills even. Be careful, there is something here. And I don't mean that big-ass bell in the middle. Capless, where are you, Capless? I smell paradise here, Avalon, so you finally come. There, magical energy is collecting, it's a night call. The one who shall save us shall be Britain's undoing. Curse my dead body, I'll gladly give my soul for the Earth Clan, in exchange for your abominable body. So this is a boss fight, then. Time for the boss killing team. And we need an archer. I'd much rather use Santa Altera over Chloe, but I can't sit here and pretend Chloe isn't a better unit in the general sense, especially since I have Castoria. But even if I swapped Castoria here for Scotty, I can't sit here and pretend Chloe doesn't have a better kit, so we'll use our ace in the hole for the archer teams here. Maybe one day there will be a single target archer I'm much more fond of that I can use instead. That's arts, I mean. Nightcall, the unknown, guardian of the treasure vault. Sword selection, level 8.
望まれることを望まれたように
Alright, this will have to do. We'll give her a bit of an attack buff before. I'll save my Castoria's NP for when it uses its ultimate. I don't think it's an NP since it's not. This is a generic monster. Overgauge. Oh, wonderful. It couldn't stop me in the end after all. Oh, oh. This is a 50% battery, so... Perfect, a full arts chain. Let's go. This should do well. Yeah, there we go. I remember when I said that Chloe is the better unit purely from a kit standpoint. That 50% battery is why. Santa Altera only has 20%, and it's impossible to deny the power of a 50% battery. It's gone. That night call must have been here for a very long time. Didn't exactly go peacefully, though. Hope you're at least resting now, old one. Anyway, that seems to take care of the last obstacle on our path. All that's left is to ring the bell. Well done indeed. I must thank you for finally ridding Bell Tower, the ghost that's been haunting it for the last century. Now that's what I call swift resolution. It's the finest thing I've seen since I first set foot in Fairy Britain. Once again, your power leaves me at a loss for words. Of course, as a cliffhanger. Well, unless he intends to fight us himself next, but I doubt that. Isn't everything about his character tells us that he will never get his hands dirty. He will do dirty work, but never with his own hands. Spriggan. Ooh, why are you glaring at me like that? The battle's over. Your Round Table army has defeated the Queen's soldiers. Norwich is now free of the Queen's oppressive regime, and it's all thanks to you. I, the Norwich Lord, couldn't be happier about this turn of events. What do you say? Shall we toast your victory? But where are my manners? Apologies for lack of consideration. If you wish to leave, by all means go right ahead. My soldiers will clear the way for you. You were told you're the one who called the Queen's army in the first place. How can you do that and still claim to be innocent? Yes, I did make a report to Her Majesty. The calamity caused a great deal of damage, so I question she sent soldiers to help with the restoration efforts. Any responsible lord would have done the same. Unfortunately, it seems there were some bad apples among the soldiers who thought to treat our more rebellious citizens quite brutally. But once again, your timely intervention prevented my citizens from coming to harm. For that, I owe you my thanks. So that's what you're going with. The Royal Army attempted to purge hints of rebellion had nothing to do with you, huh? Okay, that's fine. At this point, there's no way we can prove it. But what's your game plan now, exactly? Norwich has fallen, and your citizens are all sick of you. Do you really have time to be hanging there, chatting with us? Oh, don't be ridiculous, Leonardo da Vinci. I must say, for a mind as great as yours, that was simply uncalled for. True, Norwich has fallen, but it's a temporary situation at worst. Since the Tower of Prophecy is leaving the Round Table army, you must be only here for this bell. I very much doubt you occupied Norwich with the intention of keeping it for yourselves. Well, I suppose you may be, considering using it for the Round Table's army base of operations, but as you've just ably proven, Norwich is quite vulnerable to invasions. Of course, if you wanted to end up razed to the ground for treason like Sheffield, far be it from me to stop you. Why, you little... Now, don't bother. No sense letting this one work you up. And trying to hold him accountable for his crimes will only be an even bigger waste of time. He doesn't believe he's done anything wrong in any case. Oberon, when did you get here? Just now, actually. Luckily, my trick with the restaurant worked like a charm. I'm glad to see you all wrapped up here nice and neat. I knew you could do it, Percival. But you've done a pretty poor job with the aftermath. If you're gonna kill Spriggan, it would have been during the chaos of battle. Now it's too late. It'd be one thing if you want to get rid of Norwich, but you'd never do that, would you? Get rid of Norwich? Oh, do you mean to explain to you, Four Mage? Don't bother, I'll sum it up. Spriggan's demonstrated his neutrality to his citizens, thereby fulfilling his role as their lord. As a result, the Fairies of Norwich still recognize him as their leader. They definitely won't be happy if you kill him now that he's open to peaceful discussion. And that's not all. While Norwich's artisans may all hate Spriggan, though the residents who use up their services consider him indispensable. Remember I said Norwich was on the verge of becoming a human city. Spriggan's policies are essential for fairies who want to maximize their profits above all else. That's what makes him tricky to deal with. Sure, half of Norwich hates him, but the other supports. So you can't just kill him without a good reason. That would make us public enemies. Not only that, without Spriggan to negotiate with the Queen, she declared a rebel stronghold to take it herself. And since we can't protect the city, letting it happen would essentially destroy Norwich. And though you have it, to kill a ruler is effectively kill the nation as well. If what you want is to destroy Norwich, then by all means, go ahead and execute me. You're not bluffing anyway, are you? You really do mean that. You don't care about the safety of the Earth Clan. You have no wish to keep Norwich safe, but you apparently don't care if you live or die. I don't get it. Your actions seem so purposeless and incomprehensible. It's almost as if... That's right, human. You're not a fairy at all, Spriggan. You're what they call a changeling, someone who drifted here from proper human history, aren't you? They did mention changelings a few times here. A human clan head? That's impossible. There's no way you could keep an act like that for so long. Fairies distinguish between other fairies and humans by scent, magical energy, and appearance. No fairy is exactly like any other, so as long as someone could meet the right criteria, they could definitely pass as a human-looking fairy. For scent, they just need to make a cologne that approximates how a fairy smells. To comparative lack of magical energy, they could be disguised with the mystic code. As for their appearance, yeah, his ears look like fairy ears, but aside from that... Humans can have extremities surgically modified without negative side effects, so that's no big surprise. What I want to know is how you solve the aging problem. You've been Norwich's lord for 100 years now, and makeup can only do so much to make you look younger. I'm afraid to ask what you look like under all that. I don't have the slightest idea what you're talking about. However, let's say for the sake of argument that I came from the same world as the Master here. If I did, surely you could imagine something I might want. I have no attachment to Britain, fair as the Queen, nor can I go back to my old home at this point. Indeed, I can never go back to being John Smith the Human if I ever wanted to. No, all I care about is... a place you can call home. That's not exactly right, but you're not far off either. Personally, I don't care who sits on the throne. Queen, child prophecy, whatever, it's the same to me. All I care about is keeping this vault castle safe. My role as the Lord of Norwich is only a means to that end. One of the tricks of survival is serving someone stronger than you. Right now, that means working for the Queen, and depending what you do next, that could easily change. You see, he's the most annoying kind of person to deal with. He's neither friend nor foe. But never mind him, Norwich never had much in the way of military. Once we ring the bell, we will never have to come back here again. Spriggan's private soldiers are just that, private soldiers. I can't imagine they'd ever be a threat to the Round Table Army. Right you are. Now that you understand what makes me... Now, do you understand what makes me tick? If you think I'm not worth killing, that's fine by me. Very well then, this jester will go ahead and remove himself the corner. If you wish to ring the bell pilgrimage, be my guest. Still, I will say that jester or not, I do have hopes and dreams of my own. I doubt very much I have much longer to live, so I hope I'll get to see the Child of Prophecy defeat the Queen before my time is up. Alright, now that's settled, let's get the main event. Are you ready to do this, Castoria? Salisbury, Gloucester, Norwich, and Londinium. Salisbury, city of wind, where humans and fairies coexist. Gloucester, city of flowers that glitters bright but hollow. Norwich, the city of smiths, where all kinds of fairies and humans compete, swindle but help one another. And Londinium, city of ruins, where everyone smiles and cares for others despite the pain and loss they've suffered. 16 years. The time I spent with the Child Prophecy in Tintagel. No, this is up to her. I can't say anything. This is up to her to decide for herself. Okay, I'm going to ring the bell. Don't worry, everyone. I already know how. Stand back, everyone. Song of Paradise, voice of the inner sea. You were born to be selected to decide the fate of this land, and to see justice done. The bells of the bones of Inception shall show you the way. Forgive us these sins. It's officially begun. We've officially declared war with Morgan. It's noon already. Seems a bit early for that. Maybe it's not the usual cathedral bell? Wonder what it is then. Sounds weirdly happy, yet sad at the same time. My chest feels tight. What a nostalgic sound. Is that a bell of pilgrimage, Lady Vor? Yes, it is. It must be Norwich's bell, meaning the Earth Clan has accepted her. Looks like your plan worked, Oberon, though I feel a bit bad for tricking Woodrose. Congratulations, Castoria. Thank you, Master. At long last, we can finally take the next steps forward. Sound. It feels like it's ringing out across all of Britain. And this frequency, it doesn't sound like joy so much as... Ah, I see. So that's what they mean by a pilgrimage. There's the first one. What a relief. It's about time she did something worthy of the Child of Prophecy. I was more than a little worried when she accepted the Queen's invitation to Camelot, but now war will finally begin. I can't wait. Can you, Koinskaya? Her Majesty the Queen versus the Child of Prophecy, the Tamlin versus the Round Table Army. I wonder who's gonna drop out first. I wonder who'll have the last laugh. Who will you bet on? Or maybe you put your money in Chaldea, the real dark horse. Chaldea can't possibly win. They're not even a player in this game. But having said that, in your case, betting on Chaldea may not be such a bad idea. Fairy Britain's market value is about to tank, after all. If you know what's coming, maybe consider a different possibility. Don't be ridiculous. There's no way I'm getting out of this game after all the trouble I went to setting up the pieces. Oh yes, just you wait, Koyan. Gaia, I'm gonna make this right, no matter what happens. Lady Murian. So that's what the Bell of Pilgrimage sounds like. Doesn't do much for my soul. Well, it's good Norwich is out of the picture. About time she finally got serious. Anyone worthy to be my rival should have no trouble at all ringing a bell or two. What's that ominous sound? Is that one of the bells of pilgrimage? What happened to the soldiers we sent? What is Lord Spriggan saying about this? It's a child of prophecy. He'd banded allied with the Round Table Army and invaded Norwich. What was Woodrose doing? How could he let the Round Table Army make a move while he was in Oxford? Farrelgo was right. We should capture and kill them when we had a chance. Order, order. 30 ambassadors, 100 officials, close your mouths. High Queen Morgan's about to speak. Hear her words and obey. A bill of pilgrimage has been run. Said word to every fair lord and fairy in the land. The Child of Prophecy is no longer my subject. I name her an enemy of the state. All who offer aid of any sort shall be branded the same. Fairy Britain abides no enemy. It crushes them without mercy. I command Woodrose, Lord of Oxford, to begin attack on Londinium. Eyewitnesses shall witness weigh his success in the battlefield against his transgression and permitting this advance on Norwich when determining his punishment. There's no place for the Child of Prophecy in my fairy Britain. My queen's made her decision that a cursed Child of Prophecy is good dead now. War. It's gonna be war. Can't wait. Oh, I've been bored out of my mind the last few hundred years. Now I get to hear the lore cast fairies writhing in agony. Thank you, Child of Prophecy. Thank you, Round Table Army. Thank you for starting a bloodbath. No sooner they see preparations for war being made that they scurry off their homes. 2,000 years and fairies are still as ficky and bloodthirsty as ever. Portune, awaken Knight Portune. Yes, High Queen. Guard Knight Portune at your service. It's an honor to be freed from the chessboard. 200 years since I last saw you have done nothing to diminish your beauty. Never mind the formalities. Yeah, drink this. This water will grant you memories of all that's transpired the past 200 years. Farewell, if I may. Now I understand. The Child of Prophecy has... Sorry, my head's prophecy has become such a headache for you. Oh, my queen. Speaking of which, where are my fellow Mirror Clan fairies, who replaced Ansel as their head? Mirror Clan is gone. You are the last of their kind, Portune. I see. What an ironic twist of fate. I parted ways with Ansel to serve your majesty as a knight. Thanks to that, I'm still alive today. That is surely the optimal future you once saw. Your choice is the correct one. It's why you are alive today. Now, once again, make use of your prognostication. You'll accompany in Gawain and Fairy Knight Lancelot as their advisor. And if by some chance worse come to worse, I trust you know what to do. Yes, High Queen. We guardians are fully aware of your wishes. You would like the Tamlin to go to Oxford to assist with the attack on Londinium, yes? Have you gone soft in the head? Woodrose needs no help. I have another mission for the Tamlin. There's someone else who's been a thorn in my side for too long. The attack on Londinium is merely a sideshow. Well, that's finally well bell down. Wait. Castoria? Oh, what's going on? Why am I glowing so much? She must be burning up. Water! We need water! Da Vinci, can you whip up some fast-acting coolant? Grown-up me might have been able to, but me? No way. What was that? Whoa, sorry for panicking there. The prophecy never said anything about that. That aside, yeah, I can tell. This is really... Yeah, it really is. I'm not a fairy, but even I can tell. Why are you all staring at me? You're making me nervous. Did I do something wrong? No, you all did something very right. Did you just get crazy strong? So that's how she's able to defeat Morgan. The bells will all buff her up until she's too powerful for Morgan to handle. Fragment 5. My body's tingling all over. What happened to... Why? Wake, she's awake. Look, Ace, the weird girl with even weirder white armor finally woke up. She's gotta be an evil fairy. Can I kill her, can I? Apatrot, you're alright. Thank goodness, I was worried the huge lightning bolt might have burned Norwich to the ground. Norwich? What's Norwich? Is that the name of the forest it came from? Ah. She was transported... wasn't transported in a new area. She was transported back in time. Beach? Where did Norwich go? Where's Senpai? Castoria? What's going on? What happened to Norwich? I don't know any Norwich. Quit calling me that. It's not my name. I'm Totoro. Hamlin Totoro. Don't you forget it. You aren't Happy Cat? Happy Cat. I don't know what you're talking about, but I love it. That's way better than Grimmelkin's yapping. Hey, you gotta see this girl. She's amazing. I don't know what she's talking about, but everything she says is amazing. She's gotta be a maid just like you. Wait. Coming to... Then please stop calling everything you've not seen before Magecraft, would you? Hello there. Nice to meet you. I'm Ace, and this is Totoro. Welcome to Britain, the Isle of Fairies. Would you be so kind as to tell us your name? It must be fate that brought us together. We'd be happy to help you if you'd like. Thank you. My name is Mash. Are you Ace the Savior? Oh, so you know of me. Are you from Londinium, then? I'm sure I'd remember seeing a fairy as strong as you, however. Ah, I'm sure I sense an incredibly powerful spell similar to the Infinity Mirror on the East Coast. Oh, are you a Northern Fairy, perhaps? Did you mess up the teleportation and end up here in the middle of nowhere? Northern Fairy, so she's one of the Queen Mab's people, even though she's so cute? That'd make her enemy. Can I kill her? Of course not. Please, be quiet already. Why don't you come with us, Mash? We should leave the Morris begin showing up either. Well, our camp is over those woods. It'd be much safer to talk there. Oh, I see. And so we begin a new story, or rather, continue a previous one. When Mash rushed in to protect the two, she was snatched away by Morgan's water mirror. After a moment of darkness, she awoke to find herself on an unfamiliar beach, surrounded by blindingly thick fog and crashing of waves. On the northern horizon, she could see a tree of emptiness stretching high in the clouds, as if it were holding up the very sky. The fairies only knew it as the World Tree, however. But what surprised her more than anything was, there's no wall here, no sign of any wall of light that used to cover Britain. In fact, there was nothing seen near Britain at all, nothing but an endless plain of white seawater. This was the Isle of Britain in the year 400 of the Fae era, about 2,400 years in the past. And this is the story of Ace the Savior's final, fateful battle. Oh, we're gonna see that. Ah, so the mysterious Black Knight was Mash this entire time. I guess it makes sense. If Morgan truly did erase all of history that was inconvenient to her, then having someone go back into the past, go back in the past directly to tell her about it is the only way we'd be able to learn about it. Well, it's been about 3 hours and I'm getting tired, so I'm going to call this for tonight. Well, we managed to ring the first bell and get all this done. Oops. That was weird. Oh well. Bit of an echo there. I was checking to see if anyone I normally raid was active, but unfortunately that is not the case, so I guess I'll just cut here. Alright. Next time, we'll be continuing some Grandia, and after that, more of Lostbelt 6 here. So until next time, thank you for watching, hope you had a good time, and I'll see you later.